chiropractors with robust healing properties, carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing old tissue. Best part, with QC Kinetics, there are no drugs, no surgeries involved, and there's no downtime. This is an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Imagine doing all the things you enjoy this summer without being slowed down by that awful joint pain in your knees or back. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life. Call 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville. Call 828-333-9517.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio,
WPEK Fairview,
WMXF Waynesville,
W225CJ Candler,
the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, GRAND. That's GRAND. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat for
Power Rankings Tuesday!
It is a Power Rankings Tuesday. Welcome into the program today in the off-season cavalcade. It is quarterback rankings for 2025.
I'm much happier where I'm sitting today. I know it sucks for you. You're sitting in a room talking to yourself.
Yeah.
All of my things work here, and I'm fond of that. Watch this. You see my mic? I can move it, and it goes right back, and it stays there.
Imagine that.
It's
novel idea.
It doesn't move.
That's a novel idea. Hey, at least you missed out on the skunk scenario that took place here at Radio Ranch.
The come again for judgment? I mean, look, I know there's the skunk scenario that happens at iHeartRadio Asheville at least once a day, but I don't feel like you would be bringing that up on the radio, so now I am very curious as to what you were referring to.
So you know they've been doing work on the roof on the building next door.
Yeah, I do.
So a skunk got into the roof and sprayed everything in the old building. So Colby's been cleaning that up all day. How much fun is that? We currently have all of our all of the new promotional T-shirt order is now laying out in the sun trying to air out from where the skunk sprayed it. It's not been a great day.
That's the only response I even have to that is I just stare directly at the camera and go,
yep.
How did you not tell? We talked for an hour before this show. How did you not tell me that so I could laugh at it the appropriate amount?
I did not know. See, the first story that I got was that the crew doing the roof had found a dead skunk in the ceiling. Apparently that was not the case. Apparently the case was that after they started building the roof, a live one got in there and now has sprayed down the building. So thank God I don't have to do that. Anyhow, hope your day is going much better than that. It is.
I'm still stuck on that. Wait, somebody said that one got in the roof?
Yes.
You do know that skunks only climb if they're scared of something, right?
I have no idea.
They have little dagger claws that they don't climb well.
Okay.
So when getting in the ceiling, I'm not going to say it would be unheard of, but it would not make a lot of sense. You would be looking for the bear it was running away from.
That could have been. You never know. It might have been running from the homeless guy that put cigarettes out on our couch. You never know.
Oh, you know what? That's what it was. Hobo Bob was in there, and the skunk got angry, and the skunk was using its own natural essence as an air freshener for Hobo Bob's domesticated space.
Yes. The skunk got in there and went, "Damn, Bob, you stink."
Listen, go. Bob, you need a bath. Let me give you some natural cologne.
So, yeah. That's been going on in our neighborhood today. Hope things are going better for you. As I said, it is a very sunny day, and hopefully it's a nice change after how gloomy it's been for the last couple of days.
Putting in work with Bill Workman said, the skunk and Hobo Bob sounds like a new morning talk show. I'm not going to lie. I will have to talk to the two and see if they would be willing to chop it up. Morning Drive, yes. Skunk and Hobo Bob.
Yeah, actually, we should put them on right after Eddie and Amanda on Kiss Country. Skunk and Hobo Bob.
Hey, it would be better than what some morning shows are. And did I say that out loud? I meant it. You did. It's none of our lovely programming here at iHeart.
No, not at all. Quarterback power rankings today in the Sportsocracy. First, let's unpack the eternal sadness that is being an NBA fan, if that still exists. I know there are some Charlotte Hornet fans out there that still cling on to hope. I don't know why, for whatever reason. But, you come into the NBA draft lottery and you have the 14% chance, the tied for the best chance to win the number one or get awarded the number one pick in the NBA draft, and lo and behold, you're picking fourth.
Hey, you get beat
yesterday.
Hey, you remember that thing I said yesterday that you were going to get VJ Edgecombe? I was right.
Or Con Knipple.
I also said that, and I'm not going to lie, I did watch the lottery. I did not watch it on television because I don't have cable. Mm-hmm. We have DC Streams. You can ask us about how you set that up in your house, and you have access to all the sports. But my wife was watching Wonder Woman for some reason, and I went, nope, don't want to battle this, so just pulled out my handy-dandy phone, sat there and watched it. Okay. And as they kept going, Team X has moved up. I went, Yep, there's San Antonio. There's big market Dallas. There's big market Philadelphia. And let the conspiracy theorists begin. And I knew they're going to give us one. The only question is it Charlotte or is it Utah? Uh-huh. And I knew I looked at Amy in the commercial break before they unveiled the top four. I said, you mark my words, the Charlotte Hornets will get the fourth pick here. The other three are going to go Philadelphia, because if Philadelphia gets it, the shenanigans calls will never stop. Mm-hmm. Dallas will be 2, San Antonio will be 1. Over the course of that commercial break, I thought about that, and I went, there's no way. They did this as the payback for you screwed up and traded Luka Doncic, and now here we're going to give you a bigger version of him. Mm-hmm. Cool. I've never heard more people say an event in sports was fixed, and I couldn't tell you were wrong. I asked the question.
It's just odd how things like this happen.
It always works that way. Isn't it weird that somehow you always get the generational guy that goes to a big market? Now, Wembanyama went to the Spurs, but the Spurs are one of the most popular teams in the league. Mm-hmm. Weird. That's weird how that keeps saying. They never come to Charlotte. They never come to Washington. They never go to the Jazz. I will say this, and somebody might get mad at this. The new owner of the Jazz, his first name's Ryan. I cannot remember his last name. Uh-huh. Did you see who he sent to the draft lottery last night?
No, I did not.
His wife.
Okay.
Anybody that says money can't buy happiness has never had it. Because that dude is like 5'7". Not a big guy. Super cool. I saw him on McAfee. He did like an hour on McAfee one day. A guy you would no doubt love to go have a beer with. Mm-hmm. Then I saw his wife and I went, wow. I outkicked my coverage and game respects game, bro. Because good golly, Miss Molly, she is awful pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, mm-hmm. I would say so.
Yep. She's quite a looker. I was watching this on a YouTube stream, and I'm not gonna lie, when they put her up, you saw how gross dudes can be. And I'm not gonna lie, I said I was more interested in the comments than I was in anything that they were doing on that stage. And it went exactly how I thought it would.
Yeah. Charlotte Hornets end up with the 4th overall pick in the draft. Not as bad as Utah and Washington, though.
I mean, we're done with the lottery, right? Like
they ended up 6th or 5th and 6th.
That was as low as they could go. I mean, all right. So we're done with the lottery, right?
Of course.
I mean, this needs to go away. This is like the dumbest thing that we do. And then hockey started doing it. Why? Why do you do that? You understand that it actually makes more teams tank. I posted this on our social media last night. Should the NFL go to a lottery system? Would you like to hear the number of answers that I got that said yes? Would you like to hear it again?
Nobody.
Can you imagine? And this was where my little conspiracy theorist brain went. Can you imagine if the NFL, let's say next year, Arch Manning is everything that he was thought to be, and he's the no doubt one in this class, and you have the Saints, you have the Browns, and you have the Giants. And those three are picking 1, 2, 3 in the lottery order. They have the highest chance of winning the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. And somehow the 9-8 Pittsburgh Steelers jump from 19 to 1 to get Arch Manning. Do you see how stupid that sounds when I say it? Because that's exactly what just happened in the NBA.
Well, it's not quite that bad.
The Mavericks had the third lowest odds to get the number 1 pick. They had a 1% chance of winning this thing. It was 1.8%.
Right, and so they would have been...
It's the biggest jump in lottery history.
They would have been... No, it's the 4th biggest.
It's the biggest 1-to-1 ever. Nobody has ever come that far and gotten to 1. Some teams have gotten in the top 4 that had the lowest odds.
So they would have been, what, 13th? Something like that?
I think they were 12. 12 or 11, because I know that...
so this is a perfect example. This would be like the Dallas Cowboys winning the lottery.
Basically,
for this year. Like they pick 12th in the NFL draft. They get the number 1 pick. You want to see the world burn?
Oh, you would never hear the end of the conspiracy theories. Oh, you would get Hobo Bob that would be calling into every sports talk show on the planet going, "See, I told you it was rigged. I've known forever. Alex Jones told me on his Truther program, and I listen to it every Thursday at 7 o'clock, and it's the best part of my week."
Right.
I did that for way too long. Now my eyes hurt real bad. Ow. Ow! That was not smart.
Oh, jeez. Now the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Mavericks, are going to get Cooper Flagg, and the rest of you get to pick from all the other guys we've never heard of.
Well, no, you get the 2 Rutgers guys that were so awesome that they didn't even get Rutgers to the tournament. A tournament where we literally were saying, UC Santa Barbara? Or one of those little tiny Big West schools was going to get an at-large bid if they did not win their conference tournament. That tournament. You couldn't get a team into that. And now you're 2 and 3 by a lot.
Yep.
Ron Harper's kid, no doubt the 2. Oh, and by the way, that kid now goes to San Antonio with the 2 back-to-back Rookie of the Years. Hey, NBA, if you are fixing this, first of all, you're doing an awful job of it. Mm-hmm. Just awful. Second of all, stop doing this. It's stupid. Every year the conspiracy theorists come out of the woodwork. And now I'm officially, like, I can't tell you it's not happening anymore. Because I don't believe it. I think the NBA is such a turd at this point that they just try to shine it any way they can. And so they think, we'll get Cooper Flagg to Dallas instead of to Charlotte or Utah or Washington. Here's what you don't understand. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You ever been to Dallas? People go to the game because it's an event. I've been to Dallas half a dozen times. I've never seen a Mavericks shirt, not one time.
Mm-hmm.
Seen 10 million Dallas Cowboy shirts. I've never seen a Dallas Maverick shirt. Not saying they don't exist. You know where they don't exist? In the downtown. Where all the players play, you don't see Dallas Maverick stuff because nobody cares.
I certainly couldn't. I've tried. I've tried my entire life to be a Charlotte Hornets fan. I mean, since 1988, since they became a team. I was 6 years old when Kelly Tripucka and Dave Cowens and Rex Chapman, and I lived through that. And now we're 2025, and nothing's changed.
Oh, it's gotten worse.
Not a damn thing has changed for the Charlotte Hornets since 1988. You hit 2 high water marks. One of them wasn't even relevant in the grand scheme of things. Those 1992 Charlotte Hornets that we all like to remember, right? The Larry Johnson, Kendall Gill, Dale Curry, Alonzo Mourning, those years that only lasted like 2 or 3 years because George Shinn couldn't keep the damn team together. Didn't want to pay them. They won what? 1 playoff series in that 3-year stretch? It was it. And we thought it was the greatest thing ever because we were used to being terrible. And then you had, what, the Baron Davis years.
Yep.
Where I think they actually went to a conference finals.
They did, to 1.
Only
and
time.
Got smoked by the Cavs? I think it was one of those LeBron year Cavs.
Sounds about right. Yeah, they're just not good. And every step you take, everything is a failure. The greatest success the Charlotte Hornets have had in the last 10 years is what? Re-signing Kemba Walker?
When the season mercifully ends. That's their success.
Right.
We don't have to do this anymore.
Right, like I just don't I don't see how you can continue to be serious as a fan about a franchise that can never get out of its own way.
What do you get excited about?
Which makes me scratch my head about Jeremy as a Jets fan.
Well, I mean, and that would be my question. All right, so you look at the bottom 10 teams in the NBA, largely the teams that were in the lottery last night.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to get excited about? The Utah Jazz. Like, who are you even putting on the billboard? Colin Sexton? Stop. Charlotte. I mean, I say this about a lot of them. And it is just gross mismanagement from the top. And I got news for you. It's not getting better. Because now you got Cooper Flagg in Dallas. That is a name you know. There will not be another name that the average basketball fan actually knows who they are. You will know that 2 is Ron Harper's kid. That's really about the extent of it.
Yep.
In large part, you're getting international players. I ran through a mock draft this morning. I did used to cover the NBA draft, so I've still got a handful of guys I still talk to in that. I had 11 international guys in the first round. That doesn't work in America. And you call me whatever you want to. It doesn't work.
No. There's one main reason, not just because it is the lifeblood of sports America now. But there is a main reason why the NFL draft is such a huge thing. It's because it's guys we know, but it's also guys who are going to make an impact. Right? Immediately, you're going to have first round, second round, third round picks. They're going to come in and they are going to make big impacts on their teams, filling whatever role they were hired to fill.
Well, I mean, and even that part of it, that part of it doesn't even matter. The impact, it doesn't matter because you don't know who they are.
Matters.
It doesn't matter. All right. So let's walk down this path. Not last year's draft, the year either before or the year before that, when Banchero was the number 1 pick.
Paolo.
Do you realize that in terms of on-floor impact, that was the best first round we've had in 20 some odd years? Nobody cared. It doesn't matter your impact if I don't know who you are. Do you know when I learned that Stephen Castle won Rookie of the Year? When you said it yesterday. I do this for a living. Mm-hmm. And when you said it, I immediately thought you had been misinformed because I knew Stephen Castle had only averaged like 11 points a game. It was 13.4. I was close. That was the best rookie you had. Why would I watch? Because I have no idea who that guy is. Average fan has no clue who that is. He could walk into their house. They would not know who he was. Now, in the NFL, you get third-round picks in Jalen Milroe, who's probably not going to have any impact. This is why I grizzled when you said impact. Jalen Milroe probably has about as much impact on the Seahawks winning football games in the fall as you and I do. Mm-hmm. It was still a story. You know why? Because you watched him for 3 years at Alabama. Mm-hmm. It's all about familiarity. The NBA burned they bit their nose to spite their face. Because you burned out college basketball. The NCAA allowed all these things to happen, and you did nothing to intervene. You could have. No doubt you could have, because Major League Baseball did. You did nothing to stop it. And now you're here, and I'm going to level with you. I don't know where the NBA falls in the lexicon in terms of importance. I can tell you don't even deserve to be mentioned with the NFL and college football. I'm not sure you deserve to be mentioned with hockey. Because I'm not sure hockey at this point doesn't have... They probably have roughly the same number of fans. Uh-huh. Their fans are crazy people. Because they eat, sleep, and breathe hockey. Mm-hmm. Adam Gold that comes on after us, he eats, sleeps, and breathes hockey. He's got a ton of listeners to that show that do. I can't name you one show like that with the NBA in America, and I do probably 100 of them a year.
Right.
I couldn't name you one. I couldn't name you a show that is just carrying the water for the NBA because nobody cares.
I was going to say, because it does it right.
Knicks fans do. I will say that is one spot. Knicks fans are just eat, sleep, and die. We have to get a title. I could make the argument it would be the worst thing that ever happened to the NBA. Because then I think the Knicks fans start to atrophy. You see the one, I'm not so sure you care about the next one. In large part. There are obviously individual fans that do not stand up to that.
Right.
So you had Cooper Flagg go to Dallas last night, and then you had the best player in that Celtics-Knicks series go down with a non-contact injury. Mm-hmm. That's a bad day for the NBA.
It is a bad day.
I can't remember the last good one they had.
It's a pretty good point. Meanwhile, you look ahead, and the Indiana Pacers are probably gonna play for the conference title against the New York Knicks. I didn't have that on my bingo card.
That will be a series that Knick fans are all about because they still hate the Pacers from the Reggie Miller era.
Chokers. I used to have that picture up on my wall. I used to love Reggie Miller.
I hated Reggie Miller.
Well, of course you did. You were a Knicks fan.
I was. The funny thing is that I played very similar to Reggie. I never saw a three I didn't like, and I've never seen a rebound I did like.
Yeah. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Hard days for the NBA, but
hard times, Daddy.
Good. But it's a good thing we don't really have to worry about that because, again, nobody cares. We'll talk football coming up next.
The quest to regain the division crown starts now, so be here.
Yeah.
Huge moment.
And we're clear.
It's hard times, Daddy.
Pitch, ground ball right side. Diving stop by Ozzie. Got him. Whoa.
We have 3 super chats to hit in this next segment, so we'll do those, take the break, come back, and get into the power rankings.
That's way back and gone. Home run.
Sound like a winner?
Yes, sir.
Season on Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Alt 2K. A commercial-free look back to alternative from the 2000s. With Foo Fighters, Weezer, Linkin Park, Green Day, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search all 2K, and make it your next preset.
iHeartRadio.
Welcome to the Ingles Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingles Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingles Table at ingles-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingles Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina is doing it again. Their next car show for a cause is coming up Saturday, May 24th. Cars Against Breast Cancer at the Advanced Auto Parts in Oakley Plaza, 801 Fairview Road. It'll be an afternoon of family-friendly fun with a 50-50 and raffle prizes, including a PS5 and the grand prize a week in a condo in Myrtle Beach, Tennessee, or Virginia. There'll be live music, face painting, and games for the kids. Join Wheels for Meals Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every
gooder.
This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You are a regular nuclear meltdown. You better cool off.
We're back at the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Real quick before we move off of the NBA is so inferior, I just wanted to throw out a quick stat for you. Play a little game here with you, Jeremy. Through the first round of the NBA playoffs, TV ratings for the playoffs were up 6% over last year. Would you like to take a stab at the average viewership for the first round games?
First round games?
Playoffs. Yeah. In millions of viewers.
2-4.
How many? It's not a terrible guess. It's higher than that, though.
I'm shocked it's higher than that.
It is higher than that. It's 3.7. 3.7 million people. Average viewership for a playoff game in the first round. Jeremy, quick question for you. Do you know what the average viewership for an NFL regular season game was last year?
Oh, average?
Average viewership.
That's not as easy as it sounds because you get games that are not widely broadcast. Now, you might just be are you getting just a broadcast number?
This is in the 2024 NFL regular season. Average viewership declined last year 2.2%. 2 blank million viewers per game.
14.6.
You're off. And you're low.
I was afraid I was low.
17.5.
So I split the difference. I couldn't tell if you were asking me a broadcast number or an all games number. So I literally just went dead in the center.
Average viewership for all regular season NFL games last year was 17.5 million viewers per game. And your playoffs got 3 something? Just, this is why I've heard people or read the comments from people who criticize us. Well, you guys call yourselves the sportsocracy, but you only talk about football. Yeah, well, that's that whole ocracy thing, like democracy, like, the crowd rules, right? Mob rule kind of thing. It's because that's what people want to talk about. That's why. Because 17.5 million viewers will tune in to see the Bengals and the Browns. Yet you give me the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, and you're getting 3 million people. It's not really comparable.
I can actually give you a comp on what you just said. So if you look at television ratings do not factor in streaming because they can't. The way Nielsen works, you cannot use a digital number like that. You ever heard of the show Tracker?
No.
Neither have I. It was renewed. I do know that. How many million people in the 18 to 49 demographic? This is not all categories. This is just 18 to 49. How many million people watch Tracker every week? A show we've never heard of.
2.5.
7.985. George and Mandy's First Marriage, which is a spinoff of The Big Bang Theory with probably the two characters that I cared about the least of the entire lexicon of Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon, does 6.25. A random sitcom with the lowest exposure character from an old sitcom doubles your playoff games. Congratulations. Yep, oh, by the way, in a medium where nobody has cable anymore.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got a couple of super chats to hit here before the break.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, the first one at the top of the YouTube comments here. Red Sea says, we awake and we hear.
He set his alarm for the show. Red Sea's so committed, he sets an alarm to wake up for this show every day. That is commitment. He said that didn't wake him up. His body is so accustomed to being awake at 11:55 that he just went, time to be awake.
Nice.
And he works nights, I think. I'm pretty sure he works nights.
Like clockwork. Love it. Love being the benchmark to your day. We appreciate it.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Curtis Davis says an NFL lottery is the only way that Arch to Dallas would happen. True.
I would agree with that. The Arch thing is already annoying me. Although he was the first player to have his frame made for the 2026 NFL draft. And they're sweet.
Mm-hmm. It's just the hype machine that's bothering you?
No, the question of, is he going to stay back and go, because he's making a ton of money in NIL. Mm-hmm. You know what he's not making? $60 million a year.
Exactly.
Because that's what's in the offing.
Yeah. Let's stop that.
I got asked that again yesterday afternoon. After we did a show. I made fun of people asking me that. And when I say people, I mean people in our industry. Mm-hmm. I did a phone interview last night. It was the first question I got asked. I went, yeah, it's funny. We touched on people that asked me that just today.
Yeah. All right, one from Curtis Davis.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, he was throwing out the Inside the NBA show with Chuck, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie. Is that the best thing about the NBA?
It's the highest rated thing, and it's not close.
I'm sure.
Inside the NBA is the highest rated thing the NBA does every single year. Can you imagine? I'm just going to draw the parallel to the NFL. Can you imagine ESPN Countdown being the highest NFL Sunday Countdown being the highest rated thing that the NFL did?
Mm-hmm. Sounds insane.
They could bring on. I'm trying to get the Kardashians could do that show in swimsuits, and it still wouldn't be 10% of what the games do. And that's why your product is dying, because nobody cares.
One more from Reb C.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
He says it's pretty telling how bad other sports are compared to the NFL, because even when the NFL isn't active at all, it still dominates the headlines in the media.
It's dominating my brain right now.
NFL schedule release coming up tomorrow night. We will have exclusive knee-jerk reaction coverage on the YouTube tomorrow night. You got some equipment to bring me?
Yeah, I do. You're going to find a box tomorrow that the cord will already be plugged into the microphone. You plug it into the one hole that it plugs into.
Sounds like a good idea. I'd make it simple. Keep it simple for
I did, because my fear was that I was going to give you an XLR box and you were going to go, I don't have this plug in my computer. I know that. I'm aware of that. Then you were going to run them into each other, and you were going to get two audio feeds. And no, simple.
This could be all over the place.
You got the best mic I have, so
excellent. Tomorrow night, live reactions of the NFL schedule release. We did have a few more contests that have been announced since yesterday's program. We'll tell you about those when we come up next.
We have one more super chat that you still haven't hit, just so you know.
Oh, okay. One more.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Matthew Hoffman asked, what's the viewership for the second round with no Luka and Bron? We won't know the full number until the series is over, because they don't release cross-platform numbers across games. And the reason they don't do that is if a series like Boston-New York turns into a turd burger, they want to be able to roll Game 5 into the whole number. And so then they tell you the whole series was a 4-7, when in reality you had a 7-2, a 7-2, a 6-7, a 6-2, and a 2-9. And they don't want to disclose that 2-9. They'll put it on Wikipedia because they have to. You have to disclose it through Nielsen. They will bury that so far that it is, you need a shovel and a forehead flashlight to find it.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Be sure to tune in with us tomorrow night on the YouTube for the live reactions to the schedule release. When we come back from the break, it will be time to begin today's Power Ranking Tuesday. Top quarterbacks for the 2025 NFL season. We'll be right back.
ESPN Asheville.
And you're clear.
And me and Tank are going to fight for 2.5 hours.
More damp weather scattered around this afternoon. The best chance for heavy rain and flooding just east where there is a flood watch in place. So a few showers, more thunderstorms likely this afternoon.
We also need a name for my new podcast.
Partly sunny in between, low 70s. Tonight, a few showers, thunderstorms.
About 55. Beers and the NFL draft.
Showers, thunderstorms with morning fog, 75. Thursday, milder, small chance of rain, high 85. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQBar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQBar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQBar products plus free shipping when you text EAT to 64,000. That's EAT to 64,000.
Summer's here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
Super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeart Radio app today.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina?
At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. Call me today, Clarissa Marshall, at 828-774-6343. When it comes to real estate, we're here for what matters most, you.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous Bear Balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Did you know Ingles only sells you?
Just going into it, or do you have an outside story?
Maybe it's time to reward yourself.
Nah, we'll just go into it.
Our butchers
Okay.
eat fresh in the store every
I mean, you know
day.
how we work with power rankings, so we do have to stay on. The bottom 10 do not need to be talked about more than this segment.
Grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
We're back at the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville. It is a not a mock draft Monday. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday here in the Sportsocracy.
And so power rankings through the off season. Obviously, we can't just power rank the teams every week. So we will build to our first Power Rankings Tuesday, which is the Tuesday before the season starts, by power ranking different positions in the NFL. This week we start with quarterbacks. We have running backs. We'll go pass catchers. We're going to do a lot of things. Overall defenses, head coaches, coordinators. There's going to be a lot of things on Tuesdays. But we start with the most important position. And Tank and I did this very differently. Tank, explain to the good people how you did your rankings, and then I'll explain how I did mine, because our lists look very different.
I did mine in this is not just a talent thing. This is talent with the weapons around you, with the offensive line protection that you have. I took everything into account. And my power ranking is who should feel the most powerful right now. Who has the most to be excited about going into the next year. Because to me, the talent level doesn't change in all of these quarterbacks. So last year, if Josh Allen was one, he's probably going to be one again. And so on and so forth. Lamar Jackson at 2. So I looked at this a little differently of who's got the most to be excited about in 2025.
And I looked at it the exact opposite way you did, because I didn't take any of those things into account. I went 1 to 32, the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I give you a Madden Ultimate Starter Pack team, and you all get the same team. And I have to win a game to save my life. Who am I trusting in what order?
So starting at the bottom, as we always do, number 32.
Mason Rudolph. Didn't think about it for 5 seconds.
Mason Rudolph.
So the way my rankings went, we have 32, 5 pounds of landfill, like just 5 metric tons of landfill. 31, 10 metric tons of landfill, 30, and then it's varying levels of until I get to 19.
Okay. So Mason Rudolph is the worst starter in the league. Why?
Have you watched him play? Source, watch him, bruh, because he is slow as Christmas. I think the field vision is subpar. I'll be really honest with you. I can't figure out how he's still in the league, let alone currently occupying a QB1 spot for any team in the NFL. I watched him last year in person. Amy and I went to Nashville, camp with the Titans. I could not figure out how has any NFL team looked at Mason Rudolph and gone, this is better than if we got Hobo Bob to come in here with his stank self and take reps with the third team.
Hell, I'll take the raccoon.
I'll be really honest with you, or the skunk.
Whatever. Yeah.
I'll be really honest with you. I watched every quarterback on the Tennessee Titans roster last year, including one whose name I had never heard before. I don't remember who it was. They were all better than Mason Rudolph. You want to know why Will Levis played so many games for Tennessee last year? Because in spite of the fact that Brian Callahan hated him, he was still a better option than Mason Rudolph, and he knew it.
Mm-hmm. All right, who's at 31?
Anthony Richardson. Did you see the story about Anthony Richardson getting a back tattoo?
No.
You don't have as many tattoos as I do.
I do not.
He got a back piece done, and they put him to sleep to do it. I've never heard of anybody doing that in my entire life. I didn't know that legally you could do that. They put him to sleep to do a 7-hour back tattoo.
I didn't think it would be illegal, but...
Well, you can't tattoo somebody that's intoxicated because they can't tell you if something goes sideways and they bleed a lot. I would not think that you could do that legally, but apparently he did. That's one of those stories that I look at and just go, that tells me everything I need to know. If you need to be put to sleep to get a tattoo done, don't get the tattoo. Mm-hmm. Just in theory. I've had many parts of this temple underneath that needle. And I'll tell you, some of them are unpleasant. Back behind your arm, not awesome. Oh, it's gigantic.
I would have asked for it, 100%.
Well,
say what you want to about me.
Oh, I will. I will say what I want to about you.
That is some deep, intricate work right there.
For sure. And most of what I would say about you would be synonymous with the felonious persuasion. I've had a lot of spots done, and some of them are unpleasant. That tells me everything I need to know. And you may say that I'm being too myopic about that. It's just like when he opted out on third down and tapped his helmet and went, nope, I'm too tired. It tells me everything I need to know. You're not an NFL starting quarterback. You're a great athlete. That's it. You're not a quarterback. You're not even close to a quarterback. The only reason you're not 32 is because you are so physically superior to Mason Rudolph that the fact I think you have the football IQ of a wet dish rag is still not enough to push you behind him.
All right, who's at 30?
Tyler Shuck. You're a rookie. And this is not denigration. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to put Tyler Shuck in front of a bunch of guys that I put him behind. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't. Because he does have the potential for injury issues. He is a way older rookie. I've always liked the talent. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. I think Tyler Shuck could work with the New Orleans Saints. We could be doing this a year from now where Tyler Shuck is in more of a Drake May, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr. area of this list. And it wouldn't shock me at all.
Yep.
But if I'm picking 1 to 32, my life's on the line. I have way more questions about Tyler Shuck right now than I do about many other guys.
All right, so far we're 2 for 3. Who's number 29?
J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, okay.
I have no clue what you are. I hated him as a prospect. I have argued with other analysts all year long. David Smith can attest to this because he watched one of them. There was a guy that worked for Fantasy Pros that was sitting with us at the Combine, and the minute J.J. McCarthy's name went up, our relationship went in polar opposite directions because he thought, oh, he's the great. And every time I asked somebody, okay, explain it to me. What is it that you saw? Nobody ever gives me an actual trait of his. I always hear the same things. He's a winner. He's a winner, and he threw for he threw over 100 less passes than any other quarterback that went in the first round of that class. it was a run-first operation, and many of the throws he made, everybody talks about how accurate he is. A lot of times, he was throwing to guys that there wasn't a defender in the frame. I cannot stand quarterbacks like that, because guess what happens? You get to the NFL, and you can't make a tight window throw because you've never had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, I'm scared to. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to admit it. I don't think I'm going to be. I'll tell you exactly what I think you're going to get out of J.J. McCarthy, and once I say it, I don't think you're ever going to see it.
Okay.
Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota was super accurate when he came into the league, too, because everybody was scared of him running until he got to the NFL, and then the linebackers are as fast as you are. I'm not scared of you running anymore. You're not going to outrun me, little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And J.J. McCarthy is not nearly as physically impressive as Marcus Mariota was. So, I mean, yeah, you've got Jettas out there on the outside. Look at those other targets. That's going to be a lot of – the throw has to be really accurate. I like Addison. He really does one thing. T.J. Hawkinson wins by physicality at the point of the catch. Aaron Jones is not scaring anybody, and neither is Jalen Naylor.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have McCarthy higher? You made a face when I said that.
I did.
So I got to ask, who did you have him in front of?
I had him in front of. I didn't have him too far ahead. I got him in front of Cam Ward. I got him in front of.
Whoa! New
York
whoa! Back up.
Mm-hmm.
You have him in front of Cam Ward.
Yes.
I'm going to need you to explain that, and I need you to explain it to me the way you would explain astrophysics to a poodle.
Okay, can the Giants block for their quarterback? Or can the Titans block for their quarterback? Not very well.
The line in Minnesota is better.
Yes. Who's got better weapons? It's J.J. McCarthy, and it's not close. Over Calvin Ridley and
you like the weapons way better than I do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love the weapons. I love the weapons in Minnesota.
You could tell me that Cam Ward played for the Saskatoon Water Buffaloes.
Mm-hmm.
And J.J. McCarthy played for the NFC Pro Bowl team. I'd still take Cam Ward. And I wouldn't, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't even think about it.
That's dumb.
Those two as prospects, it's not even overall talent. So basically what you're telling me is that you're doing a loose power ranking of the teams and what quarterback plays in what situation. Because if Cam Ward played for the Minnesota Vikings and J.J. McCarthy played for the Tennessee Titans in what you're doing, J.J. McCarthy should have been 32.
Yeah. Cam Ward would be higher than 26 on this list. Yeah. It all plays into it.
Yeah, Cam Ward's a way better prospect than that.
Sure. He's more talented, yes. But he is not going to, I mean, I don't like the weapons. I don't like the line. I'm not sold on his coach.
I like his coach.
For the situation, really.
I like his coach, obviously, way better than you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's nuts to me. I mean, I'll put it this way. In terms of just numeric grade, Cam Ward was almost a full point higher than J.J. McCarthy to me.
Is that a lot?
That's a round plus. Cam Ward was a back end of the first round. He was like a fringe 1-2 because I think I had him at 28 and I had 26 first-round grades. So Cam was like a fringe 1-2. J.J. McCarthy was a middle of the third-round prospect.
Oh, I see what you – okay. I was trying to figure out what that meant. All right. So J.J. McCarthy at 29 for a year.
Then we get into the old man river tier. The Abe Simpson yelling at clouds, 28. Russell Wilson, 27. Joe Flacco.
There you go.
You're fine. You know how to win in this league, but you do not have the physical tools anymore to do so.
The fact that we're even talking about Joe Flacco as a starting quarterback in this league anymore is baffling to me.
Joe Flacco is one of the 32 best solutions to start. I did not say best quarterback. Okay. He is one of the 32 best solutions in the NFL. He's played this league for, 16 years?
Mm-hmm.
Been to it, won a Super Bowl. I would take Joe Flacco. I'll be honest with you. I considered having Flacco ahead of who I have at 26, but 26 is kind of a line of demarcation for me.
Okay, who's at 26?
Justin Fields. Justin Fields has all the talent in the world. I unfortunately don't think he's very much of an NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But now if you told me I got to trust Joe Flacco or Justin Fields, the discrepancy in talent's the only thing that has Fields ahead of him.
Okay. All right. Who's at 25?
That's where I have Cam Ward.
Okay.
And I punish rookies way more than other people do. I told you this before the show. We were talking about another player on this list about a position that is not quarterback. And I told you got to be careful trusting rookies at certain positions because they often come in and they're, I don't want to say awestruck, but that's really the only word I've got. And you just don't get what you think you're going to get. I think there's going to be some growing pains with Cam Ward. And I'll be honest with you, for me, I look at these two equivalent going into this year because my 24 and 25 are basically the same guy to me. It's Cam Ward and Bryce Young. I've seen good. I've seen bad. Mm-hmm. You scare me to death. But I know there's enough talent there that I've got to take you over everybody that's back behind you.
Okay, our bottom eight's all the same, just so we're clear. The order's different.
What was your order?
My order was going from 25. I had Fields, McCarthy, the Giants, whoever the hell ends up being their quarterback, Cam Ward, the Pittsburgh Steelers situation, Tyler Shuck, Anthony Richardson, and the Browns situation last. So we had all the same ones. We just mixed up the order a little bit. Take a quick break here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Best quarterbacks for 2025. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday, and we'll be back after this.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Plug your computer
More damp
in.
weather scattered around
It
the
died
south today,
again.
The best chance for heavy rain and flooding just east where there is a flood watch in place. So a few showers, more thunderstorms likely this afternoon. Upper level low not
You were
going
fat
anywhere.
baby tank for
Partly
like
sunny in
5
between,
minutes of
low
that segment.
70s. Tonight, if you shout, woohoo, it's 55.
I'm going to put a big
Wednesday,
sign over
scattered
that window that says,
thunderstorms with
plug
fog,
your
75.
damn computer in.
Thursday,
The plug keeps coming out.
I'm meteorologist Ray
How?
from
It's
the
a
Weather
type
Channel.
C.
This report is sponsored by Apple Trees.
And it falls out every show.
Are you
The
kidding
school
me?
year is ending, and you can experience
That's the
Drive
whole.
away
That's
with
like
at
half the
Apple Tree
reason
Honda.
they
Don't make
made
a
that
payment until the
connection.
end of summer break. More cash in your pocket for summer with Apple Tree Honda. I-26 Airport Road, Asheville.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts.
But then
guaranteed to
again,
fit.
I have
I'm
the
talking
same
brake
computer
pads
you
for when
do,
yours have seen
and
one
I
too many
can't use
miles
it
of
for
stop and
anything.
go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep
the company computer.
Yeah, actually, the more I'm thinking about this, the less it's surprising me.
Every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down.
Yeah, my
payments
version
to
of that
1%
computer
for
now will
eligible
not
home
connect
buyers with
to
one
my
plus.
email
Because
through the
everyone
company that gave me
deserves
that
their shot
computer.
at the American dream. Call Rocket or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
You got to laugh to keep from crying.
We have a super chat coming back from Soaring Eagle.
Tasting coconut.
The
crunchiest
almonds and
delicious
chocolate.
But do you know what I'm most
You're going to have to mute your computer, too.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even.
Man, this little jingle's annoying. Hearing it twice, 1 second behind itself, super annoying.
At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why their recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit
Great North said we need a torture ticket for this
today.
right now. Who has a better season in 2025?
Now has presets. Just like
McCarthy
your car.
or
You're
Cam
our
Ward?
number one. Make us yours. ESPN Asheville.
Ooh, I'm in.
Streaming 24/7. Your home for the
I'm in. I'll take
Sportsocracy.
that.
Weekdays at noon. The Tar Heels and Atlanta Braves baseball.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to
And
the
I'm
ball
trying to
game
decide
at
if I
Minor
should
League
be a
Park,
nice guy or
it's
just
all
be a
in the
jerk
bag.
and not tell you
Ingles,
why I'm so
low
confident of that.
prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford.
Why are you so confident?
Have you looked at the
Parks
Vikings
Community
schedule?
Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black.
Not really.
So they played 2 games. 2 of their road games are international.
Corey and his team found
The 5 teams not in their division that they play at home are the Eagles, Commanders, Ravens, Bengals, and Falcons.
Nominate your Parks Community.
I, honest to God, don't think they will win one game I just said. And I think they will get killed in
In
3
the
of them.
aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors. So what are we basing this on? Thing to have around is a
Let's
redneck
go
with a chainsaw.
QBR.
Not just a chainsaw, boy.
Okay.
We'll do best 2 out of 3.
Figure it out. Like you make
QBR.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio,
I don't
the
think
Chainsaw
passing yards
Brothers
is fair to
are still
you.
here, making it happen the right way.
Touchdown to
Fair,
interception
insured, and local.
ratio.
Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers.
Win-loss record.
316-1013. 316-1013.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime
Of
Sports
games
have
they
teamed up
start,
under
not
a
their
new
team.
local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at
I
the
get a
best
way
price.
easier
Mountain
schedule,
Graphics
you
and
get a better
Showtime
team.
Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need. With
Win-loss record, QBR, and
Touchdown to interception ratio.
Gotcha.
ShowtimeSportsAVL.com. That's MTN Graphics, AVL.com, or Show
We'll never remember that.
local one-stop custom.
No, we'll do it right now.
Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina.
David
is
Smith
doing
chucked it
again
out there,
their
which
next
means
car
I
show
think we
for
could make him the
cause is
official
coming up
keeper of the
Saturday,
board.
May 24th. Oh, there you go.
Or somebody needs to be
Advanced
keeper
Auto
of the board.
Parts in
We
Oakwood
asked Dave to do a
Plaza,
lot. It's probably not fair to
801
ask Dave to
Fairview
do it.
Road. It'll be an afternoon of family-friendly fun with a 50-50 and raffle prizes, including a PS5 and the grand prize a week in a
Dave said
condo
he'll
in
keep the
Myrtle
board.
Beach, Tennessee, or there you go.
Dave's a trooper,
Live music,
man.
face painting, and games for the
Love
kids.
that guy.
Join Wheels for Meals Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
From the Ingles studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man.
I love it. Say it one more time. The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles studio.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat each and every day. Get your super chats in, comment on the topics of the day. And today's topic of the day is a
Power Rankings Tuesday.
And we're doing quarterbacks for 2025 after the moves have been made this offseason. The draft has taken place. Jeremy and I have put together our list of the quarterback power rankings. We did it differently. Somehow we came up with the same players at the middle of the list, but just in a different order. He's going, bet your house, gun to your head, had to have the quarterback win you a game. This is how it goes. Mine was, this is how it looks to me for the upcoming season. As what weapons do they have around them? Do they have anything to look forward to for 2025? And we've already come up with our first torture ticket.
We have our first
NFL
bet
season.
Of the season. Ches Johnson said that the loser of this should spend the offseason clean shaven. That is not in any way a fair wager to me. So Tank's little wispy mouth curtain against this beard. Really? That is a marked disadvantage for me. Also, you do not want to see me without a beard because I look like an overgrown toddler.
Mouth curtain? That's a new one.
I mean, what else you want to call it? Nothing else I could say was FCC approved. So,
okay, we are at the bet here. So the wager, the torture ticket, is going to be Jeremy gets Cam Ward, I get J.J. McCarthy, and we go best 2 out of 3 season results. Win-loss record.
Of games they start, not their team.
Mm-hmm.
Their individual win-loss record. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And touchdown interception ratio.
I feel like you have an advantage in at least one of those, maybe 2 of them. That's how confident that I am. I think Cam Ward's going to be really good. I'm not sure the Titans are going to be really good. I also have a great fear that J.J. McCarthy's going to be real bad.
But he has to be super bad to me for that not to work. That's why I don't think he's that bad.
You believe in
I don't
the
think
Vikings.
he's great.
You believe in the Vikings way more than I do. They won a mess of one-score games. Why don't I? They won a mess of one-score games last year.
Okay.
They won a mess of one-score games with a markedly better quarterback. That offense does not work if you can't get the ball to Justin Jefferson, and I don't think that he can. What none of you seem to all the J.J. McCarthy apologists, what you don't seem to entertain, go look at what he did throwing to the outside at Michigan. Yeah, he was great getting it to Roman Wilson out of the slot. Justin Jefferson doesn't play out of the slot. Justin Jefferson plays on the outside against high-level NFL corners. He's not great at it. And he did that with the best running game in college football. And now he's got Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason.
But is that just because he didn't do it?
No, he's not good at it.
Terrible at it.
Very often those outside to the numbers throws. And this is with wider hash marks in college football. Very often those got short hop to receivers on this. It's why I didn't like him. If you go back to my draft guide from that year, the number one thing I said about J.J. McCarthy is really struggles throwing to the outside. And for me, that's not an NFL quarterback. To me, he is, and I swear I'm not trying to heap it on this kid. To me, he is Jake Locker in a less impressive body. He's been the best athlete on virtually every field he's ever stepped on. And then he just had a blip year where he threw probably less than 100 passes total. Didn't throw a single one in a game. And so you had a blip year with a kid that he needed not just every rep. He needed to be taking extra reps at a local high school. And he got 0. And now you have expectations. And I'm telling you, don't be shocked when Minnesota fans turn on him. And I think it's going to happen fast. I haven't seen their schedule. I know who they play. And there's a possibility they don't win a game at home. I can see them going 0-8 at home, and it would not surprise me at all. I mean, I told it to you in the break. They play the 3 teams in their division: the Eagles, Commanders, Ravens, Bengals, and Falcons. 3 of those teams will beat you within an inch of your life. The Eagles will beat you to death. The Commanders will beat you to death. The Ravens will beat you to death. And I don't think you can score with the Bengals or the Falcons. I don't think you can score with the Lions. I don't think you can score with the Packers. And I don't really think you can score with the Bears with Ben Johnson. The Vikings are probably the biggest wager of under that I have. Mm-hmm. Because I think you're all getting just completely snowed and you're, I don't want to say disrespecting Sam Darnold, but you don't want to believe it to the point that
I knew it was going to come back to that.
Sam was fantastic last year.
Uh-huh.
I just think it's funny how easy people think it is to find a quarterback. The Chicago Bears haven't done it in 40 years, but people think, well, they took a guy in the first round. He can't just suck. Oh, no, actually he can. And historically, 60% of them do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, he can absolutely suck. I just think that's a better team than that.
So what's so good about it? The offensive line's good. You have no running
offensive line.
Okay, your offensive line's really good. I'd ceded that. Then what?
Aaron Jones is just.
Aaron Jones can't stay healthy.
Trash. He's not worth anything.
Aaron Jones can't stay healthy. I like him as
the one beating the drum on Aaron Jones yesterday
with Jordan Mason. I want the running game because I think J.J. McCarthy sucks that bad. Do not get confused with liking a guy in fantasy football and liking a guy in the NFL because they're not the same. Whoever plays running back for the Minnesota Vikings is going to get a lot of work behind a good offensive line. I don't find that to be all that difficult to understand. You also have a quarterback that's really mobile. Okay, so a running back's going to put up stats. It doesn't mean you're good. Chuba Hubbard finished third in the NFL last year in rushing. It didn't mean he was worth a damn. He just got the ball a lot.
Okay. Weapons for that team, that's like a top 5 unit.
And you have two that don't get open easily. Jordan Addison beat you over the top. I'm not scared of J.J. McCarthy beating me over the top.
Okay. Right.
Justin Jefferson's open all the time. T.J. Hawkinson's not. He never has been. He's probably the least athletic tight end among the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Contested catch. And you're taking a young quarterback that I don't believe in. I don't love it. I just don't.
All right. Number 24 on the 2025 quarterback power ranking list for you, Jeremy, is who?
24 is Bryce Young. That was the 24-25 was Bryson Cam Ward.
Okay.
23 is Michael Penix Jr. And I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't know what to do with him.
This is exactly where he belongs. He's only played 3 games. Like, I get that he was good in those games, right? Statistically speaking, he was like a top 5 quarterback for all the quarterbacks that only took 100 snaps last year. I read that earlier today. I was like, okay.
Michael Penix played 5 games, by the way.
Yeah, but he only played like maybe
threw 100 passes. He threw 105 passes. He may have only started 3 games. I don't know. It doesn't say that on the screen.
Right. Maybe that was it. Started 3 games. I just don't know what you're going to get in a long-form season from Michael Penix.
I like Penix because Penix is a lot more experienced than McCarthy. I'll tell you what I think you're going to get. You're going to get a season that's very similar to what you saw out of Bo Nix last year.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to really baby him early because he threw a lot. He had a really high interception-worthy percentage last year. He threw 3 interceptions in 3 starts in 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Threw 3 picks in 105 attempts. That's a really scary number. Just so you're aware, it's the exact same number that Kirk Cousins had last year. And I think it will be a lot of Bijan early. They're going to get Penix comfortable. I like the defense way better than I did last year. That didn't have anything to do with my ranking, but in terms of what I'm going to see, it is relevant. And then he will get more and more of the offense. The question is what happens when he gets more and more of the offense, and that's what I don't know.
Yep. Is there something to unlock with Kyle Pitts? Is Drake London a bigger star than we think he is?
No,
that's the only way that I see this team
bigger star than you think he is. He had 1,300 yards last year.
Oh, I get it.
He's a top 10 receiver in the league.
But to carry a team, I feel like you need to be better than that. I need you to be a 120 catch guy.
Well,
if I'm not getting anything from anybody else, then I need more.
Darnell Mooney and Ray McLeod. Darnell Mooney was almost a 1,000-yard receiver last year.
Okay.
How many teams in the NFL had 2,000-yard guys? I'll give you a hint. It's less than the number of fingers you have on your hand.
Okay.
The Falcons were, 8 yards away from being another one. You're denigrating the weapon. I do find it funny that you just were going up and down about the weapons with Minnesota, and now you're denigrating the weapons for the Falcons, because that makes my head hurt.
Well, I mean, you don't have anybody on this team that's as good as Justin Jefferson catching the ball anyway.
Drake London's not as far off as you want to make it out to be.
Really? Okay.
Well, I mean, look, Justin Jefferson's the best. Jefferson and Chase are the two best receivers in the league.
Absolutely.
Drake London's in that next tier.
Okay.
It's not like just the way you're making it sound is, well, Minnesota has Justin Jefferson and the Falcons have Olamide Zaccheaus. No, they have a gigantic, really good receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You said, is there anything to unlock out of Kyle Pitts? Well, I mean, talent-wise, yes. I just don't know if you're going to get it out of him.
Exactly.
But right now, he's the
We've
4.
been doing this for 5 years now.
I mean, right now, Kyle Pitts is the 4 on that team. And as a matter of fact, I lied. He's the 5. Because I didn't put Bijan Robinson in there initially.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of running back, I'll take Atlanta 1,000 times out of 2.
No doubt.
And then you get into the ancillary pieces, and to me, the difference between Kyle Pitts, Ray McLeod, Darnell Mooney, T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, and whoever else you want to put in there, it's not as much as you think. And I like Penix better than McCarthy.
Okay.
And he's older. That also helps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think you got Michael Penix right where he belongs.
I would agree. And I'll be honest with you, he fell into a tier with the next two in front of him. And it's so weird because they have completely different stories, but I look at them exactly the same.
Okay.
22's Tua Tagovailoa.
Mm-hmm.
21's Caleb Williams. I'm not disputing your talent. I do dispute my trust in you. I already know what Tua is. I think I know what Caleb Williams is, and I have an idea of what I think Michael Penix will be, and it's all three the same thing.
Right.
You're going to be a top 20-ish receiver or a quarterback that I don't trust. I was trying to think of another word to say right there. Trust is the word that Absolutely. I don't trust any of the three of them.
Trust is a huge factor with me with Tua. And it's not just the health, but that's like 80% of the pie. The other portion of it's going to be, decision making.
Does he scare you to death this year, or is it just me?
Absolutely, it scares me.
Why does he scare you so much?
Every second he's on a field, it scares me. Because I don't know where this I don't know that there's a trajectory here. I don't know that there is exponential growth happening. We felt that way last year, and now it feels like things took a step back last year, and now, and I don't know if it's Tua or if it's scheme or if it's just all of it. It's all going stale. There's now more controversy in the locker room. Like, I don't know if all of it plays a role in it, but I don't have any faith in this anymore.
You never
said, Coach, but I don't get it.
You never said the thing that terrifies me.
What is the thing that terrifies you?
This is the worst line he's ever had. And I don't know that it's close.
That plays into it. Yeah.
You have one, I'll just say straight up bad tackle. You have one young guy that I don't really know what to expect. I never saw him as a left tackle. Mm-hmm. And now you're chucking Patrick Paul out there, and Dolphin fans just keep telling me, oh, it'll be fine. Will it, though? Because I don't think it will. And I'll tell you a fun little stat about Tua Tagovailoa. Do you know he's missed at least 4 games in all but one season of his career? The one time he didn't was the best line he ever had. Because he holds the ball too long. He tries to hit home runs over and over and over again. Now you've got 2 tackles, and it's the same principle of what I said with Aaron Rodgers last year. Defenses figured out that the way that line operated, they could not pick up a 6th blitzer. You're going to see that with Miami. And what happens when Tua starts getting hit over and over and over again? I'll tell you another stat that I didn't know until I did the research on putting this list together. What's the most times Tua Tagovailoa has ever been sacked in a season? This is one of the most shocking things I think I've ever heard.
36.
You're too high.
Really?
He's never been sacked more than 29 times in a season. He's been hurt 11 times.
I was going to say he never lived that long.
He's been hurt 11 times. In 64 games, he's been sacked a grand total of 111 times. Now, let me put that in let me kind of put that in a box for you. Last year, the highest side of quarterback sacks among all quarterbacks was, I can't remember who was one. I know Burrow was high. Caleb Williams was sacked 68 times last year. Think about what I just said. In 17 games, Caleb Williams was sacked a grand total of 43 less times than Tua Tagovailoa has been sacked in his career. No injury issues. Tua's been hurt 11 times. He has been taken out of NFL football games 11 times. How many times do you think Joe Burrow's been? They were in the same draft class. How many sacks do you think Joe Burrow has taken? And he's had 2 season-ending injuries.
In his career?
Mm-hmm. He's played 69 games.
Say 130.
196. Joe Burrow has been sacked 196 times.
That's quite a bit.
And he's missed 16 games. He's basically missed a full season.
Mm-hmm.
In 4 years, he has basically averaged being sacked 49 times a season. Mm-hmm. And now Tua's sitting behind 2 young offensive tackles that I don't believe in.
Nope.
Good luck with that.
I don't like it at all.
Oh, and by the way, you're going to get a lot of shootouts because your secondary is horrifically bad.
Yep. Caleb Williams at number 21, correct?
Caleb was 21, yes. And I tried not to take situation into it at all, but I can't lie to you and say that Caleb would probably have been 23 if it wasn't for Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And then my level of trust kind of starts to build at 20. Not because and look, when you hear the name, you're going to go, I thought you hated him. Well, I don't love him, and I don't love 19 either. But for what they're asked to do, I trust them more than I trust Caleb Williams because the bad is so bad.
All right, we'll find out who Jeremy trusts when we come back from the break here on ESPN Asheville Power Ranking Tuesday 2025 quarterbacks ranked.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman,
clear.
It takes
We
to
missed
keep
the super
power
chat
on
there.
in
We'll have
his
to do it when we
community.
come back.
And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside.
Stephen Dow said somehow Joe Burrow's already been sacked 29 times in the 2025 season.
Climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
I got to run to the bathroom, check, and make sure I'm back before you bring us back.
Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Okay.
Vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Alt 2K. A commercial-free look back to alternative from the 2000s. It just takes some time, little girl in the middle of the ride. With Foo Fighters, Weezer, Linkin Park, Green Day, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Alt 2K, and make it your next preset.
iHeartRadio. ESPN Asheville, broadcasting from the Ingalls studio at Radio Ranch. Log on to ESPNAVL.com and make us your number 1 preset on the iHeartRadio app. ESPN Asheville, number 1 for sports coverage in the mountains.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community Heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has 2 things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous Bear Balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what
Are you back?
You.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Don't miss the Cold Mountain Music Festival at beautiful Lake Logan in Canton, North Carolina, Friday and Saturday, May 30th and 31st. This year's lineup has Fire.
There we go.
Melissa Carper, the Shed House Trio.
Was this the last commercial?
Yep.
I knew I had to be close.
The Last Rebel and American Aquarium. Proceeds support the programs of Lake Logan, Camp Henry, and the Outdoor School. And for every ticket purchased, Lake Logan will donate $1 to support this year's participating jam musicians. General admission and camping tickets on sale now at coldmountainmusic.org.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy live from the Ingalls studio on a Power Rankings Tuesday. Looking at the quarterbacks for 2025. We're into the top 20 of the list before we get into who Jeremy trusts in the NFL this year. Let's get a super chat here from Soaring Eagle.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Soaring Eagle says, as long as J.J. McCarthy hammers Hawkinson with looks, we're all good. He must have Hawkinson in the fantasy in a fantasy league.
Well, and the thing that scares me about Hawkinson is that even Sam Darnold struggled to get him the ball, and Sam was more accurate than McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
I have fears. And look, if I'm wrong, a lot of people said I was wrong on Bo Nix last year. Notice that I haven't been real reticent to say I was wrong. There's a reason.
He had a better rookie year than you expected.
Denver was better than I expected.
Okay. All right.
Bo Nix is 114 years old. He's fine. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Bo Nathaniel Nix III, that's my quarterback at number 20.
Okay.
I trust him less than any just cemented starting quarterback in the league. And number 19 shouldn't shock you either because I think they're the same guy.
Okay.
Brock Ebenezer Purdy IV. They're the same guy. I know you don't want to hear that, but especially those of you that are Bo Nix apologists, they're the exact same guy. The more expensive they get and the less stuff they have around them, the worse they're going to get. Because they're not high-level talents. There's a reason that every team in the league looked at them and went, eh. We just went through another draft process. You know what I got told routinely about Bo Nix? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Our analytics department, our scouting department, they have another offseason to watch the tape on him. I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of him. I think he's fine. I think he is. I really wish I had a good historical Andy Dalton. That's the best one off the top of my head. Andy Dalton was a starter in the NFL for a long time, wound up, we talked about him yesterday. He's going to end his career in the top 50 of passing yards all time. May end up in the top 30, depending on if he gets another chance to play. Do you think that's what he is historically? Because he's not.
No.
Bo Nix is the same guy. He's going to be a top 15 to 20 quarterback in the league for the next 10 years. You're not going to win bupkis with him unless you put great talent around him. And you know what scares me to death? The thing that if I were a Denver Bronco fan, and frankly, for Soaring Eagle, who loves his team, and Denver Donkeys and the different guys that I see pop up in this show, I hope for my sake I'm wrong. You know what makes me nervous? That Sean Payton watched all of this last year and went, the solution to that is R.J. Harvey and Pat Bryant. Okay.
All he had.
Okay. They invested all their money in the defense.
Right.
They're going to try to win with Bo Nix like he's Trent Dilfer. Now, that defense is not to be trifled with. But that doesn't change how I feel about Bo. Also doesn't change how I feel about Brock Purdy. Watch how his career trajectory has gone. It's going to look real similar in Denver. Brock Purdy, when they had all the talent around him, looked like a superstar. Now, universally, we're going, if you pay him as a starter, you're going to regret it.
Right.
You know who the last player we said that about was? Daniel Jones. That was the last player I remember it being this universal. If you pay him that way, you will regret it. And we were right. And he didn't make it 3 years.
Yep. And here we are with Brock Purdy sitting in the same situation. See, I see Bo Nix and Brock Purdy a lot like I see J.J. McCarthy. Like I see those two guys, and I see J.J. McCarthy and go, you could be that. J.J. could do that. That's just me. But, again, it's you're not a great talent, but with great talent around you, then maybe you could be okay.
We have
win some games.
We have a super chat on Nix and Law, and I really want to touch this because this is a really good question.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
This is from Soaring Eagle, and I knew I didn't know what he was going to say. I knew he was going to say something. So first of all, Bo looked light years better than Brock with Marvin Mims and me as his weapons. The problem is that he still has that. It's still Cortland Sutton, who is not very fleet of foot, and he gets slower every year. Devin Vele, Pat Bryant, you took the exact same kind of receiver you already had. And if I hear one more person comp him to Michael Thomas, I'm going to pull my hair out. I get it. You want to find a Michael Thomas for the Denver Broncos. He's not that. I don't know a draft analyst that didn't see that Pat Bryant pick and go, that was weird. I even heard Trevor Sikkema try to play devil's advocate and explain it, and even the explanation made my head hurt. Well, he's a true X. Yes, he is. You already have two of those, right? Like, Cortland Sutton's a true X, too. So where do you play him? That's what makes me nervous. This has always been the thing that scared me about Sean Payton. Sean Payton thinks he's smarter than everybody in the NFL, and he's not. He's a great offensive mind. I think he's a good coach. He gets into this San Francisco, and by the way, the more I do this, the more I love the Purdy-Bo comp, because he's got a guy that's picking his players that thinks he's smarter than everybody in the league, so I can go get this guy that nobody else wants, and he's a great value, Nick Martin, that San Francisco took in the third round. He's a 5'10 linebacker that played 2 games last year, and you took him in the third round. This is the same thing Sean Payton's doing in Denver. That's what scares me. He can't take the layup. He has to go get all of these pieces that are Sean Payton guys. Okay, that's fine. You're also a guy that historically the best receivers you've ever had were Michael Thomas and then Marquez Colston. Mm-hmm. That scares me when I'm not dealing with Drew Brees. I agree that he did look good. I would also say, look who they played. Then there's the second layer of this. Brock Purdy would be 3-14 with us. That's the thing that made me go, I probably should have Nix ahead of Purdy. I should probably have Nix ahead of Purdy because I don't disagree with what he just said. I do think that Brock Purdy would be markedly worse. Now, the schedule comes into effect. That is a thing. Mm-hmm. And then the final was, explain to me how Bo is worse than Dak, Love, and T-Law, because all three of those guys are exponentially more talented than Bo Nix is. They just are. They're bigger. They have bigger arms. They have better arms. They have bad. Don't get me wrong. They have a lot of bad. They all three love throwing interceptions. At the end of the day, talent matters. You know, the reason that Drew Brees is not viewed like Tom Brady, because Drew Brees wasn't built like Tom Brady. Drew Brees was 6 foot tall, and I love Drew. He's one of my favorite players of all time. He was 6 foot tall. There were things he couldn't do that Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, on and on down the line could. He has virtually every record you could ever want. If he did, and if he doesn't still have it, he had it at one time. It doesn't change the fact that he had physical limitations, and I think Bo Nix does too.
Yep. Red Sea chiming in on the YouTube comment says he expects to see his quarterback soon.
You're not going to see him as quick as you think you're going to.
Not just yet. Not just yet. We got Bo Nix at 20, Brock Purdy at 19. Who's at 18?
Oh, I guess having the list up would make sense, wouldn't it? 18 is Drake May. Drake May kind of falls into the same thing I just said with Brock Purdy and Bo Nix. The only difference is he's exponentially more talented. Drake's bigger arm, more mobile, all of the things that those two other guys are not. Do I trust him yet? No. No, I don't. But the upside is there. The upside plays a lot into this. Because one of the things, and as we get on up into the list, you'll see that there are certain guys that are higher for me than maybe you think they should be. Safety doesn't really mean a ton to me. I want to be able to trust you. But we're talking about winning a game to save my life. I need you to be able to step up and do the special. I don't think Brock or Bo can do that. I think Drake can. I just don't think he's going to do it at a very high percentage. There's a lot of similarity for me between 18, 17, 16, and 15. And 14, for that matter. And 13. You know, we could do this for a minute, so I'm just going to stop saying numbers and say we're in a tier of guys that have an upside that's really high. They have a floor that scares me to varying degrees.
I wasn't wild about the landing spot for Drake when he got to the Patriots last year.
I don't mind it now.
I don't know how you could have been. But now if you look at that team, it looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Now you've added 2 tackles. Now you've added a home run hitter running back to go with your ground and pound thumper. You've added a number 1 wide receiver and a coach that I believe in. Necessarily a coordinator I believe in, but he's been okay as a coordinator, I guess.
Been terrible with any quarterback not named Tom Brady, but I do want to get to 17 before we take the next commercial break, because there is kind of a, I'll say there's a jump from 17.
Okay.
17's in a class all his own.
Mm-hmm.
And Tank, you can see my list in front of you. Do you notice something about all of the quarterbacks that are around number 17?
What is that?
They're all 10 years younger than him. All of them. Geno Smith's my 17. Do I think Geno Smith is better career-wise 20 years from now when we talk about him as opposed to Drake May, Brock Purdy, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Tua Tagovailoa? Probably not. Right now, he's a 36-year-old starting quarterback that's got 15 years of experience in the NFL under his belt. I trust him more than you.
Mm-hmm.
His high side may not come out as much as the other ones behind him. I do trust him more than you. He is safer, which I just said doesn't. I'm not going to say that holds a ton of water with me, but it holds enough. And when you're comparing guys that are first, second, third year in the league to somebody that's been in this league for 15 years, played for 5 different franchises, there's a floor with him that I know what to expect. His ceiling is not as high as the others. But if we're going range of outcomes with everything being exactly equal, for at least one more season, I would take Geno Smith over those other guys. Geno could easily, in 1 year in Las Vegas, fall 10 spots, and it wouldn't shock me at all. Could also rise a couple of spots if he doesn't start to regress at 36 years old.
Mm-hmm. Which he's going to.
Not necessarily.
I mean, I feel like that's almost a given. You should expect that. You
Not
should expect a guy that's
necessarily.
36 years old to take a step back.
At some point in the offseason, we'll do a deep dive on how quarterbacks age. I saw somebody talk about this, and they just kind of scratched the surface, so I went really deep of where do you see the big drop-offs of quarterbacks? It's not where you think. They all start to regress at one point, but then they stay that person for an extended period of time. Mm-hmm. And then when they fall off the cliff, and yes, I do have a number, when they fall off that cliff, it's precipitous. Yep. And it really matters how much you count on your feet. If you're a big runner, your age is different than if you're not. Geno Smith's not a big runner. He can run. He's kind of like C.J. Stroud. I can do it. I don't want to.
Mm-hmm. If you can keep completing 70% of your passes and, throwing for over 4,000 yards a year, then yeah, you're gonna hang around the league for a while.
Geno Smith did
He's
something.
An amazing story to me, just because he was nobody, right? He was completely written off. Career's dead. Who the hell is this guy? Why do we keep signing him? And then
you and I have done this together too long, because you basically just said exactly what I was getting ready to say. The thing about Geno Smith, he's been three completely different quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to his time with the Jets, watching Geno Smith with the Jets does not look like what you're looking at now with Geno Smith with the Seahawks and the Raiders. He doesn't even look like the same player.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't play the same way. Geno was a cocky guy that thought he could make every single throw. Then he got humbled for a really long period of time, and he realized, I am best suited to stay in the pocket. He is ridiculously athletic. Or ridiculously accurate, excuse me. I said the wrong A word. In certain situations. And that's what he does. He just plays point guard. And he does it really, really well. And having Pete Carroll in Las Vegas, I think he's going to do it again. So for right now, I just trust him playing that brand of Brock Purdy, Bo Nix, really even Drake May at this point. Playing that brand of football. He's done it so much longer than you. I just trust him more right now. Doesn't mean he's better. For 2025, which is what this is, I would take Geno Smith over the other three. That could change in week 6.
You're in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. Geno Smith coming in at number 17 on the 2025 quarterback power ranking. Here in the Sportsocracy, we'll pick it back up with number 16 when we come back.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Or damp weather, scatter
clear.
The best chance for heavy rain and flooding just east where there is a flood watch in place. So a few showers, more thunderstorms likely this afternoon. Upper level low not going anywhere. Partly sunny in between, low 70s. Tonight a few showers, thunderstorms, 55. Wednesday scattered showers, thunderstorms with morning fog, 75. Thursday milder, small chance of rain, high 85. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The peace lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQ Bar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text EAT to 64,000. That's EAT to 64,000.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. Call me today, Clarissa Marshall, at 828-774-6343. When it comes to real estate, we're here for what matters most, you.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
We're back in the Sportsocracy. It's on ESPN Asheville. You can tune in everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and check us out on the YouTube as well. 2025 quarterback rankings. It's a Power Rankings Tuesday. We're up to number 16 on the list. And who's your next quarterback in line here?
Sorry, I had I went full Tank Spencer and went full ham hands and knocked my camera across the room and was sitting there scurrying trying to get everything back on. Caught me very off guard. My 16 is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor's another one that's hard for me to kind of pin down because I still believe so much in the talent. Trevor Lawrence has officially become like that guy that we all know that the minute you say his name, you just go, he's had a tough life. You really think about it. He had Urban Meyer for a year. That was a train wreck. He's had Dougie Doug for 3. That was a train wreck. And now he's got old Duval. I don't know that it's going to be any better. It could be. I think I believe in Liam Cohen more than I believed in Peterson as an offensive mind. Maybe not as a head coach, but more as an offensive mind. But I don't know where to put him.
I don't know what he's going to be like as a head coach. I don't even know how much to give him credit for. Right? Because we saw similar results with Dave Canales in Tampa. And so Liam Cohen takes over. Nothing really changed. The personnel didn't change all that much. There wasn't any drastic scheme changes all that much. You had a running back that was better. I mean, that was the only thing that was really different. Is that on Liam Cohen?
Yeah, this is one of those times that I'm gonna have to call Bull Bunky on you.
Okay.
Because you know this team too well to say things like what you just said.
Okay.
So with Dave Canales, where did they finish in yards? He was there 2 years. He was your offensive coordinator for 2 years, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They were 15th and 23rd. Where did they finish last year? Third. So, yes, there is a big damn difference between what Dave Canales did and what Liam Cohen did. You were the worst rushing team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to finish real high there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
I said that was the only thing that changed, though. Was there was a running game.
That part did change, yes. You also were 20th and 25th in points under Dave Canales. You were 4th with Liam Cohen. So, yes, there is a difference there. Okay. This is one. I finally have drilled down on the net root of why it is you are delusional about this team. Because you give Dave Canales way too much credit and Liam Cohen not nearly enough.
Okay.
The team looked the same. In terms of the scheme and things like that, the success rate was way higher. That's what changed last year with Baker Mayfield. Also, what made him super hard to figure out where to put him on this list. He landed in about 14 spots at a different time. He got into the top 10. He fell out of the top 20 at different times. And then landed where he was. Well, he was out of the top 20 when I only had like 5 guys on the board.
Okay.
Then the more guys I put in, I went, nope, can't have it. Nope.
Can't do that.
And I just did that,
Can't do that
7 or 8 times. I mean, the offense was way better with Liam Cohen than it was with Dave Canales. I don't know that means one's a better head coach than the other.
Mm-hmm.
I just, if he can get what he got out of Baker Mayfield last year, I am stuck on what can he get out of Trevor Lawrence, who's one of the better quarterback prospects I've ever evaluated.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, you might have that second weapon now, but we don't know.
Oh, it's Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter might be that second weapon.
Travis Hunter's better than Gabriel Davis.
Sure.
That's not even spicy.
No, but is he good in the NFL? And that we don't know. We don't know if he's any good or not. Or
I can infer a good bit of it.
You can imagine.
Sure. I can infer a good bit of it. That's it's kind of my whole job is, hey, is this guy going to be good? If not, we might as well just take darts and throw them at a board. What I don't know is there.
Sometimes that's easier.
I think where I'm at with Trevor Lawrence is how much of this has become scar tissue and how much of it can still heal. Because he's regressed as a quarterback, and it is insanely obvious.
Mm-hmm.
You watch Trevor Lawrence at Clemson and watch him now, he's nowhere near the prospect he once was. I think he still has the talent. And that's why he's a little bit higher for me, because I'm hedging my bets to a point. I think this is probably as far as I could ever drop Trevor Lawrence down. I don't think I have him any lower than that.
Okay.
Because I can't wrap my brain around how somebody – it's kind of like Andrew Luck. A lot of people have revisionist history with how good Andrew Luck was in the NFL. But even when you look back on that, you can't drop him below such a point because he had such a high upside. And you saw it with him. You don't see it a ton with Trevor. That's what bothers me.
Let's hit some super chats here before we end the hour.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
The first one from Red Sea, who throws out the Sister Golden Hair surprise reference for Trevor Lawrence.
What does that mean? Because I saw that and went, I hope Tank knows what that means, because I don't.
It's a song. It's a song from like the 1970s. It's America. You ever heard of the band America? That was one of their songs. Sister
was that Donald Trump's high school band? We call ourselves America, greatest you've ever. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
It's a pretty good song. I like America.
I have no clue.
Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
All right, and then Soaring Eagle says, also going back to Bo, the lack of weapons is only at wide receiver because he still has Ingram, who's a good tight end. And Bo is now not our whole running game, even if we reached. And with our defense, Bo has Bo only has to make 3 crazy plays a game at most.
I'm good with all that. That has nothing to do with this ranking. Because this doesn't take into effect. The way I'm doing this is the exact opposite of Tank. I'm not taking any of those things into account. I'm talking about just the raw physical player that I got. Yep. Now, as to what you said, I don't think you reached on R.J. Harvey. I think the running backs all fell. You were just the one. I don't even really know a way to explain this. I guess the best way is you were at JCPenney's at 10:30 the night before a big sale. You bought the same handbag. You just paid way more for it than everybody else did. I don't begrudge you for that. I like R.J. Harvey. I don't like any of your other running backs. Jaleel McLaughlin is a gimmick piece at best. Estime's the between the tackles guy. I like him to a point. And then Evan Ingram's a big slot. That's all he is. That's all he's ever been. The tight end position is comical to me because we play so many guys that do nothing other than catch the ball that is involved in playing tight end. We still call them tight ends.
Yep.
Now, he can be your little joker piece. I would like Ingram a lot better if you had found a way to get another one of those guys. I really do. I wish it was Loveland and Ingram or something like that.
Now you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 Power Rankings Tuesday, the top 15 quarterbacks for 2025. Stay tuned. They're coming up next.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Gary Birch threw a Red Hot Chili Peppers lyric out there, and I'm not going to lie to you, I had to read it 6 times to go, I know that line, and I know I do. I'm not piecing together why I recognize
in
that.
Between low 70s. Tonight, a few showers, thunderstorms, 55. Wednesday, scattered
All
showers,
right, be right back.
thunderstorms with
I'm
morning
going to try to not
clouds,
knock my
75.
camera off. I was
Thursday,
going to get my
mild to
mid-show
soft rain,
snack,
high
and I had to
85.
scurry during
I'm
the last break.
Strategic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm today. Get matched. Sleep at night.
Bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on ESPN Asheville.
Looking for a career with stability and purpose? NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring correctional officers statewide with a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and benefits. Learn more. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Mark Starling, and this Medical Minute is brought to you by Harris Regional Hospital. Do you know the signs of a stroke? May is National Stroke Awareness Month, and Harris Regional Hospital is here to help you stay informed and healthy. Stroke is a leading cause of death and disability, but many strokes can be prevented through healthy lifestyle choices. Take charge of your health this month. Talk to your doctor about your stroke risk. Stay active, eat a balanced diet, stop smoking, and monitor your blood pressure and cholesterol levels. If a stroke does happen, every second counts. Harris Regional is proud to be designated as an acute stroke-ready hospital by the American Heart Association, meaning our emergency team is trained and equipped to deliver prompt, life-saving stroke care 24/7. Remember the signs: face drooping, arm weakness, or speech difficulty. If you notice any of these, call 911 immediately. With expert stroke care close to home, you can live your healthiest life. Are you at risk for a stroke? Take our stroke health risk assessment at myharrisregional.com.
The iHeartRadio app now has presets, just like in the car. You're our number one. Make us yours. ESPN Asheville, the mountain's favorite sports station, streaming 24/7. Your home for the Sportsocracy. Weekdays at noon. The Tar Heels and Atlanta Braves baseball.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes. like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina is doing it again. Their next car show for a cause is coming up Saturday, May 24th. Cars Against Breast Cancer at the Advanced Auto Parts in Oakley Plaza, 801 Fairview Road. It'll be an afternoon of family-friendly fun with a 50-50 and raffle prizes, including a PS5 and the grand prize, a week in a condo in Myrtle Beach, Tennessee, or Virginia. There'll be live music, face painting, and games for the kids. Join Wheels for Meals Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
From the Ingalls Studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now
I'm going to do a free endorsement for Clausen
$1,000. Just it. Word on our website. Bills. That's Bills.
Damn, it's the best pickle in the world.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls Studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog eat! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
We're back at the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat for the remainder of today's Power Rankings Tuesday. Power Rankings Tuesday today, focusing on the quarterbacks of the next year. This #1 position in all of sports, the most important position to any team. And we're to the top 15 in the NFL.
We're indeed to what could be described as the final countdown. And it is ironic that my favorite quarterback is our first quarterback here in the top 15 because it is one Sammy D, MVP.
Okay, Sam Darnold going to the Seattle Seahawks this year from the Minnesota Vikings. It's not good. I don't feel like this is going to be fun for him. I don't know that I like Seattle's offense all that much.
Let's play a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, what position group for the Minnesota Vikings is actually better offensively than what Seattle has?
Offensive line, not close.
I won't say not close. If Abram Lucas is but don't make me go down this rabbit hole. If Abram Lucas is healthy, that line's good. The problem is he's never healthy. Okay. What I said is going into the season, which one of these things is line's not that big. Now I'll give you the line. That's the only one I'm going to give you. Running backs, I'll take Seattle 100 times out of 100. Wide receivers, I think the room is better in Seattle. I just don't have a Justin Jefferson. I don't think Jackson Smith and Jigba's that far off.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's kind of like Drake London. He's a top 12, 15 guy in the league. But then I've also got Cooper Kupp, who, if he's healthy, we're fine.
Could be fine, yeah. I'm not saying it's going to be bad.
It sounded like you were about to say it was going to be bad.
I don't like the line, and I think he could get killed. And then are we just back to crappy Sam?
Okay, so really, I really want to dive into that the line thing. Mm-hmm. All right, so you're totally against what the Seahawks have on the offensive line. Explain that to me.
Well, they weren't good at all last year
because they were killed.
Okay.
They were playing me at guard by the end of the year last year.
Okay, and if that happens again, it's not going to be good.
Well, if it happens to the Minnesota Vikings, they're dead too, because they only have 5. So I mean, I can say that about anybody. There's no team in the NFL that I can go, I could lose 5 linemen and still be good.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Cross is a top 10 tackle in the league. There's 2 ways to look at that. You can either agree with that or you can be wrong. I mean, I can tell you analytically, I can tell you watching him, whatever path you want to go down, that's an elite left tackle. I think Gray Zabel is going to be elite at whatever it is he ultimately plays. I don't think that's going to end up being what everybody else does right now. I think he ends up at center. I've long thought that.
Okay.
It may not be this year. Don't know. But if you look up and down that Seattle roster, they've got a lot of guys that I've liked over the course of time.
Mm-hmm.
Abram Lucas, we've already talked about him. That's a guy that I'm pretty fond of when he's actually out there. Then you get into the guards. They still have Christian Haynes. You remember the guard out of UConn that I talked about forever during the draft process? Yeah, he's still there. And I have a funny feeling he's going to find his way onto that line at some point this year. Bryce Cabeldue was one of the top 5 most talked about players the week leading up to the draft. That's the backup to Lucas now.
Okay.
There's just a lot of pieces there. It's really easy to say, the line's terrible. It was terrible last year.
Mm-hmm.
If it stays healthy, it won't be this year. Just like everybody else. You go through injuries, you're in trouble. If you don't, you don't.
Yep.
I also liked Ola Oluwatimi. I heard a lot of shade towards him during this process, which we will not stand for any of that here. God, I forget how deep Seattle's receiver room is. Seattle's got like 9 guys that I'm really curious. Which one of these guys are you planning on releasing? Because you can't carry that many.
No. You trim it down to, 8, 9?
On the game day roster, if you get to 6, you're aggressive. Because you got to get down to 53. You can slide some onto the practice squad. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Torrey Horton, Jake Bobo, Ricky White. Then you get into, like, Steven Sims. Those are rosterable guys in the NFL.
Not for this one.
No. The 6 they'll carry are the first 6 I said.
Right. If they can only keep 6, then Cody White and Steven Sims and Derek Young and all those guys. Good luck on the practice squad.
Hey, you
can go play in the UFL.
You put the proper respect on Derek Young's name. Former Lenore Ryan, whatever their mascot is, because I don't remember.
It's Derek?
Derek, yeah.
Okay. I want to use that Jeremy term of, if that's how you want me to say it.
You should spell it that way?
So won't you spell it that way? Because that looks like Derek to me. Dareke. That's a weird way to spell that. Sam Darnold at number 15. And then?
14 is Kyler Murray. The height, the injury history scare me. But when Kyler Murray's right, I feel like he gets a lot of shade. And I'm not sure why that is.
Well, I mean, he's easy to pick on.
Is it just the Call of Duty thing? Or because you're not watching his games.
It's
I like straight up.
It's all of the things. He's teeny tiny, so it's easy to make fun of the short guy. He's had all of the drama issues of, the story about him rather playing Call of Duty than studying the playbook.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He's had
Call of Duty
adversarial relationships with his teammates and stuff.
Name the teammate.
He's easy to make fun of.
Who's the adversarial relationship he's had with teammates?
Oh God, who was it that started all of this stuff? Wasn't it like Kelvin Beachum or somebody?
Kelvin Beacham's still on the team. Kelvin Beachum has routinely said Kyler Murray's a great teammate.
I don't remember who it was.
I'm way too. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a super unfair argument for you because I did not tell you to be prepared for this, and I've gone through this about 8 times in the last 2 weeks, so I'm super versed on this. Most of it's nonsense. He had a super adversarial relationship with Cliff Kingsbury, who I'm gonna be honest, I like Cliff. But if we were ranking most punchable faces in the NFL, he would be in the single digits. I think it's funny. Kyler Murray's played 3 years where he had no injury issues whatsoever. You know what his PFF grade was in those 3 years?
What?
82.8, 82.9, 82.1. You know where that grades? 13, 9, 11.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever talks about him up that high. Ever. Frankly, I'm expecting to catch flack for having it 14.
I'm sure you will from somebody.
And that's insane to me. In terms of raw talent, I got to win a game. He is in the top 14 quarterbacks. Now, the injury history does scare me. And he is a little fragile. Mentally, not physically. I'd already kind of said physically.
Right.
Now I'm realizing I could have just said fragile and moved on because that word means 2 things. I like Kyler. Yeah. In terms of where we're at right now, if it wasn't for his fragility, I would like him ahead of probably the next 3 quarterbacks on this list.
Mm-hmm. Kyler's fine. He's just not great, and I think that's that's another reason people pick on him is because he was the number 1 pick.
So was Baker Mayfield,
and he's not that.
So was Baker
Everybody
Mayfield.
picks on Baker Mayfield.
Not anymore. Oh, not anymore. Now
sure.
Baker's everybody's guy. Everybody loves Baker. Baker's such a grinder. Baker's like me. Baker's little, and he got picked on, and then he's going to get his brains knocked out this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe Kyler Murray needs to turn in a top 5 season, and they'll stop saying that about it.
I'm going to act like you didn't just say that.
Excuse me? What?
If you were about to tell me Baker Mayfield was a top 5 quarterback in the league last year, I'm going to call you an idiot.
Statistically speaking,
I don't care about statistically. You said put up a top 5 season.
You can not care about statistics all you want to, but
Jameis Winston had a top 5 season.
Quarterback last
year. Jameis Winston had a top 5 season. You want me to tell you how stupid that is? Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, off the top of my head. If you ever looked at anybody out loud and said, Baker Mayfield was better than them, no, the hell he wasn't. You can give me your yardage stats all you want to. I'll give you 50 different reasons he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler Murray's best seasons are very equitable to what you've gotten out of Baker Mayfield. He's had 3 of them. Baker's had 1. Now, I will say we do have a super chat that is, I think he said it better than I probably could have. This is another thing that makes me nervous about Kyler.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
What's wrong with Kyler Murray is from Red Sea. Steve Keim. Yeah, the organization, I try not to let it bother me. I really do. I try to use this as just in a vacuum. I can't fully. I say I can, but then I get to points like this and I go, what's the difference in the next 3 guys and Kyler Murray? They play for historically good franchises, results-wise, and Kyler Murray plays for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference there. It just is.
Yep.
Now, I will say this. If you switch Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield, the Cardinals would get worse and the Buccaneers would get better. And I fully believe that.
I would tend to agree.
Baker's one of the next 3. That's the reason I keep bringing him up.
All right, number 13.
I feel like I might as well just do these 3 together because I kind of lump them together.
Okay.
Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott. And yes, that is the order I would take them in. I want to start with Jordan Love because I think I have to elaborate on him a skosh. Do you look at David Copperfield as a liar or as a great illusionist?
He is a great illusionist.
Well, at the net root of it, he's still a guy that tells you he's making a building disappear, and all he did was walk 10 feet down the street and move the backdrop. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all he did. I watched that Magician's Code thing. I've seen how you do it. That's kind of how I feel about Jordan Love. Of just because you get away with something doesn't mean you should do it, and does not mean you're not going to get caught one day. We all knew the guy that would have 7 beers at the bar and go, I drive better when I'm drunk. And then next thing you knew, Billy had 8 DUIs, and you went, who didn't see that coming? Show of hands, anybody not see that coming? Okay, I thought so. That's kind of how I feel about Jordan Love. That day's coming. You keep doing these ridiculous things, throwing off your back foot, throwing into coverage, throwing into 2 high safeties, throwing into all this, it's going to burn you eventually. And when it does, woo, you're going to have one of those years where you're going to have a Jameis Winston year where you go, did he really throw 30 interceptions? Yeah. I look at all 3 of these guys. They're all gunslingers to a point. You tell me where I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
They're all 3 gunslingers to a point. Which one do you trust the most?
Baker Mayfield.
Guy has one good year, and you forget 6. 6 that he, honest to God, looked like he was actively drunk on the field. I don't agree with you. I've seen Dak Prescott have. I will conservatively, without having to search it, say Dak's had 4 seasons that were every bit as good, if not better, than what Baker did last year. I've seen Baker have one of those. Mm-hmm. I've also never seen Dak Prescott have turds like he did when he was with Cleveland and when he was with the Carolina Panthers. I've never seen that. Why I put Baker in between them? I feel like the floor of Baker is safer than the floor of Jordan Love. Jordan Love has a 25 interception season coming if he doesn't mature. I don't know how many did he throw last year. Do you know?
11?
I know it was double digits. I just can't remember how many it was.
I just had that page open. Give me just a second here. 25 and 11. 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Now, you want me to tell you why I'm so confident that that's coming? Guys that threw more interceptions than him last year, how many of them threw less passes than him?
How many?
It's 3. I want to see if you can name them without looking. Think of the quarterbacks that throw the most interceptions in the league. This should not be hard.
Cousins.
Kirk was one of them, but he didn't throw less passes than Jordan Love. Kirk Cousins has the most interceptions in the league. Tied with, by the way, top 5 Baker Mayfield. Just throwing that out there.
I don't know, Bryce Young.
Nope. Jameis Winston. That was the one that I thought you would say immediately. Jameis Winston played 12 games last year. He threw 12 picks?
I completely forgot about it. I completely washed that out of my head.
Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. What does that tell you? Tells you you're in an era here that you're getting protected by the fact you only threw 425 times last year. You get into that Pat Mahomes era. You get into that Kyler Murray era who threw 541 times last year, or Aaron Rodgers or C.J. Stroud or Bo Nix. You get into that era, and that ratio continues, you're in the 20s. Quick.
It could. I mean, year before that, though, he also threw 11 interceptions. And he threw way more in that year that he did. 579. How many times he threw it in 2023.
You want me to tell you a funny story about that year?
11 interceptions.
Yeah, you want me to tell you a funny story about that year? His turnover-worthy play percentage was higher that year. That's what I keep talking about, is turnover-worthy percentage is one of those things that nobody ever talks about. If an interception hits a guy in the hands, that basically calls it an interception. Because you got lucky. Not one thing happened there that you had any control of.
Sure.
Safety drops it. Jordan Love has routinely been in the top 5 of that stat.
Mm-hmm.
Week in, week out, season in, season out. You get you on the wrong side of a little luck, and the next thing you know, we're looking at Jordan Love going, what happened to you? That's what happened to Jameis Winston.
Mm-hmm.
Jameis was really high there, and then he had that year where you went, holy good Lord, every ball that touched the defender's hands was intercepted. We're only 1 year away from that.
Yep.
And it could be this year where he's trying to get it to Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed and the ghost of Christian Watson.
To me, it's the weapons that I don't like the most about Jordan Love. I mean, not saying his game's perfect or anything like that, but it's everything all together. I just don't think it's that good of a team because you don't have a star. Between Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson and Dontavian Wicks and now Matthew Golden, who else am I missing? There's another one in there. Jalen Reed. Like all those guys are just a mishmash of wide receivers. Now Dak Prescott, on the other hand.
Dak also very high in turnover-worthy plays.
Now that he's got George Pickens, I think it's going to make a big difference.
Now that he's got George Pickens, you think it makes a big difference?
Yep.
I want to agree with you. I really do. I really do. I don't, but I really do.
You don't think it makes a difference at all? Shading coverage away from CeeDee Lamb?
That will help for the offense. Dak Prescott's one of those guys that the more he has to do, the more he tries to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it does worry me a little bit. I think George Pickens will be a positive. I could easily see it early being not a positive. Because if you remember with Brandon Cooks, he really tried to get him the ball early on. And then it kind of went sideways of where he almost forgot about Cooks. And Cooks had some injury issues.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to a guy that just spammed our chat. I can't necessarily elaborate on every single thing I say because we have 32 teams to talk about here. But Google is a free service. Although I did search turnover-worthy plays just to get the percentages, and it was a StatMuse page of just Xavier Worthy's name, which I thought was hilarious. I don't know how Google got to that point, but that was kind of, I laughed on screen.
Nice. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Dak Prescott at 11, Baker Mayfield at 12, and Jordan Love at 13. We'll get into the top 10 next.
For over 8 years, QC Kinetic.
Clear.
Leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free. Shoulder and hip pain gone. QC Kinetics uses regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in your achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties, carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing old tissue. Best part, with QC Kinetics, there are no drugs, no surgeries involved, and there's no downtime. This is an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Imagine doing all the things you enjoy this summer without being slowed down by that awful joint pain in your knees or back. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life. Call 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville. Call 828-333-9517.
Made for This Mountain exists to empower listeners to rise above their struggles and face the mountain in front of them.
So during Mental Health Awareness Month, focus on your emotional well-being. Tune into the podcast and climb that mountain.
You will never be able to change or grow through the thing that you refuse to identify. The thing that you refuse to say, hey, this is my mountain. This is the struggle.
Listen to Made for This Mountain on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Made for This Mountain.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen.
Why did you type non an airport? What does that mean?
Converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation
arrivals and departures
zone in the wake of Hurricane.
Oh,
they were having like an unsubscribed thing in the chat. I saw the word like 5 times, and I've come to the real. Every time I hear that word from now on, I'm just not an airport. Arrivals and departures are
ParksFordHendersonville.com.
Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina is doing it again.
I don't even know. It could have been a joke for all I know. I can't watch the chat like a hawk.
May 24th. Cars Against Breast Cancer. No, that K22M guy said he was out because you were bashing Jordan Love.
It's fine.
Fun with a 50. And then everybody started making jokes. I'm unsubscribing when he puts Lamar behind Josh Allen. Virginia.
Was that Stephen Towle? Because he's already said he said that to me twice today.
Join Wheels for Meals, Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way.
So just for posterity's sake on that turnover-worthy play thing, Bo Nix last year was 1.8, which is super low.
Low prices,
Jordan Love's career is 3.3.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Kai?
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and it is a Power Rankings Tuesday. Quarterbacks for 2025. We're down to the top 10.
By the way, I do want to elaborate on something just because I didn't have the info pulled up in front of me. So turnover-worthy play percentage is a fun stat because it can be too low. It can also be too high. Bo Nix had a 1.8 turnover-worthy play percentage last year. That's too low. Because do you know what that means? It means you're only taking shots down the field if they're so open that you couldn't miss them. You want to be in between 2 and 3. Jordan Love's 3.3% career. It's too high. Pat Mahomes is too high. Pat's also been super lucky and had Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a good metric of things could go sideways.
Top 10 quarterbacks for 2025.
God,
number 10.
Now I want to know what Jameis Winston's is because I didn't look that one up and I don't know why. Because I immediately now I want to know his is 42%. every other throw he makes is turnover worthy. 10's Jalen Hurts. I have decided Jalen Hurts now lives at 10. From here on out, I now want Jalen to change his number to 10. That's where you belong. That's who you are. That's where you should be. All things equal, you belong at 10. I had you at 15 last year. I had you at 5 the year before. The more that gets put on your plate, the worse you get, as is the case with probably 30 of 32 starters in the NFL. Mm-hmm. You are currently in your honey hole. Do you think the Philadelphia offense would get better with, let me choose random name in front of you, Jaden Daniels? Because the answer is yes. Sure. You might not run the douche bouge anymore, but you probably wouldn't have to.
Be a little more high-flying.
Yeah, you'd be able to use A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith more and Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley I'm not going to lie to you. Every time I talk about Philly, I get angry that we allowed them to build a roster that's that good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did the other 31 GMs, like, what are you doing? I did hear a funny story. A guy I talked to that works in the NFL said now we're all scared to trade with Philadelphia. Because even when you don't think they're screwing you, they completely are. And you don't realize it for 2 years, and so now everybody's gun shy of, what does he know that I don't know? Even like the most obvious of deals. Apparently they were trying to trade up for Jahad Campbell for several picks, and then they got to Kansas City, and they were afraid Kansas City was going to trade out to somebody else. I found that little anecdote funny.
It's a solid rule. It's like making fantasy football trades with Cowboy Zach Ertz. I just won't do it anymore. I'm not participating. I don't care if he says I'll trade you Roma Dunze for Josh Palmer. There's something wrong about that, and because it's going to go his way, and I'm out. I'm not. He's like the Howie Roseman of fantasy football.
Now, in terms of if we were doing a what quarterback fits their offense and their team the best, Jalen Hurts would be won by a mile. Because he does exactly what Philadelphia wants him to do. I just don't think it would work in other places.
Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles just won a Super Bowl, yet based on talent, you've got him as the 10th best quarterback in the league.
Because I think every guy in front of him, Philadelphia would be better at the quarterback position. Doesn't mean the team would be better, but I'm having to grade these guys against each other. And I hate to say it, but number 9 is Justin Herbert, and if you watch those two play quarterback, it's kind of hard for me to get to the point of anybody would tell me, with all the things that go into playing quarterback, Jalen Hurts is better at how many of them than Justin Herbert, and how many of those have to do with running? Justin Herbert, to me, is probably... Somebody said something to me a long time ago that Justin Herbert was the most overrated player in the NFL, and that got in my ear, and it flicked my brain for about 9 months. I do not see how anybody watches that guy and sees him as overrated. He has been put in a horrifically bad position because the team was not great early on. They had Keenan Allen, they had Mike Williams, who lived hurt. They've never had a great running back. Austin Eckler is a great fantasy running back. He is not a great NFL running back. And now he's finally got the coach, and they're building the roster, and, now we don't throw it nearly as much. Now we're going to lean on these two gigantic first-round running backs, and we're just going to run people into the ground. Justin Herbert's a funny case to me. But I think he's really good.
Just because of the hate that he gets?
I don't think he gets hate. It's more more apathy. People just don't care. Now they look at the Chargers and go, are you a threat to actually win a Super Bowl? And the vast majority of people think no. Now, I am not necessarily one of those.
Really?
I think the Chargers are the team. What we were talking about earlier with Minnesota, of everybody's buying their stock, and I can't figure out why. Everybody seems to be selling the Chargers now because the Raiders and the Broncos are the shiny new toy. And I'm looking at the Chargers going, you get they got better, right? That team's better right now than they were one calendar year ago, and now you're selling everything on the Chargers. I can't really make my brain get to that point. But
what makes them so much better, though?
They were young, and they're developing. The receiving core's better. Because now I don't think Ladd McConkey's a true, honest-to-God one, but I think they have enough pieces on the outside that one of those guys is going to act as a one every single week. Whether it's Quentin Johnston, whether it's Trey Harris, whether it's
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. There's another one, too. They have it'll come to me in a minute.
Darius Davis.
No, Darius Davis is a little gimmicky special teams player that's just real fast. Maybe I made it up.
Yeah, I don't think there's another one on that team.
I think that Charger team's really good, and I think Justin Herbert has a lot to do with it. I just don't know that statistically he's ever going to – he will have one of those really funny careers where the best years they had were the worst statistical seasons he had. And then you'll look at probably on each side, when Harbaugh leaves and before Harbaugh got there, he's throwing for 45, 47, 4,800 yards per season. And then he's at 41 with Harbaugh. But they go to the AFC divisional round or the AFC championship game.
Justin Herbert at 9. Who's at 8?
8 is Jared Goff. I have to be careful with him because I'm afraid that there is a regression coming. He's had Sean McVay and Ben Johnson in his career. I mean, there are a lot of guys on this list that would kill to have had either one of them for 1 year. Jared Goff's had both of them. And I'm not there with this Lion offense yet. Not saying I won't be. I got a toe in the pool. I'm not jumping in the deep end.
This is another one of those you have to expect regression. Because they were the number one offense in the league last year.
They were
juggernaut. Can they
juggernaut.
still be that? Maybe. Maybe they can still be that.
No.
But I don't think it's going to be historic like it was last year.
I think they get better defensively. Mm-hmm. They get worse offensively. And the result may very well be the same.
Mm-hmm. How much does that bring them back, though? How big of a step back do they take is the most important part.
Jared Goff at 8, to me, is not a step back. That's where he's pretty much belonged the whole time.
Agreed. You're in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. You want to get one more in before the break?
No, we'll save that one for after the break because 7 is where I'm going to start catching strays. Because there's a name I haven't said yet that people are going to go, you have him at 7? Yes. Yes, I do.
All right, we'll find out who 7 is when we return here on ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
More damp weather scattered around this afternoon. The best chance for heavy rain and flooding just east where there is a flood watch in place. So a few showers, more thunderstorms likely this afternoon. Upper level low not going anywhere. Partly sunny in between, low 70s. Tonight a few showers, thunderstorms, 55. Wednesday scattered showers, thunderstorms with morning fog, 75. Thursday milder, small chance of rain, high 85. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about essential warm weather styles, just $30 and under, like dresses, shoes and bags, men's, and even kids' looks. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Out here, you'll find a community of hardworking creators with loyal followers, along with proud moments worth sharing. And farm to table, well, that's just supper. And whether it's a raised garden bed, acres of land, or something for your animals, we've got all the supplies and are happy to share a little know-how.
Welcome to Tractor Supply, into life out here.
The peace lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
It's super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina is doing it again. Their next car show for a cause is coming up Saturday, May 24th. Cars Against Breast Cancer at the Advanced Auto Parts in Oakley Plaza, 801 Fairview Road. It'll be an afternoon of family-friendly fun with a 50-50 and raffle prizes, including a PS5 and the grand prize, a week in a condo in Myrtle Beach, Tennessee, or Virginia. There'll be live music, face painting, and games for the kids. Join Wheels for Meals Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is ESPN Asheville. You're in the Sportsocracy. I don't know what a blag is either. I'm not sure.
Oddly enough, not the worst thing I've been called today.
Don't know what that means.
I do want to state this for the record. Just this is one of those that I will always. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Everything I say is statistically based. Because see, I have this big screen, and unfortunately, I can't turn the camera and show it to you. This comes directly from the NFL. So whatever website it is that you use to find your statistics from, that's fine. This comes directly from the operating entity. So, when your stats and mine don't line up, mine win. So argue with Roger, not me.
Right.
He and I are accredited members of NFL media. There is no stat we can't find. It doesn't exist.
I like that. Big, loud, angry gremlin. No.
Ginger.
Big, loud, anti-Green Bay. I like that one.
Big, loud, angry ginger. That's what I'm going with. And that's what I'm going to call myself from now on. I'm going to make shirts. Loud, proud, blag.
Very good, very good. All right,
Boom.
Let's get back into the power rankings here on a Power Rankings Tuesday. Quarterbacks for 2025. Number 7, Jeremy Green.
7 is C.J. Stroud. But C.J. his line was awful. His line was awful and his receiving core was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, name me the quarterback that was behind him you would take over C.J. Stroud in a game to win your life right now. To save your life right now. That was asking you that question. That was not a hypothetical.
I thought that was a rhetorical question.
No, it was not a hypothetical, or it was not a rhetorical question either. Name me the quarterback that's behind C.J. Stroud that you have to win one game right now. Teams are dead even. There's no advantage at receiver. There's no advantage on the line. There's no advantage at coach. Tell me the guy you would take over C.J. Stroud right now.
Herbert, probably. I would probably take Herbert over him.
Can't get there. He waffles in every big game he plays. He's fighting for my life. He'll throw 5 picks like he did in the second half against Jacksonville in the playoffs. And then I'll have to haunt the hell out of him. That dude's not going to have a glass sit still for the rest of his life.
But do I get last year's C.J. Stroud or do I get year before C.J. Stroud?
You get the player in general. You get the whole kit and caboodle. It all wraps into one.
That's just the thing. I don't know if he's still that guy from 2 years ago.
And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I've watched a lot of quarterbacks regress in the second year. It almost always happens for the same reason. It happened with Houston. They also had an injury thing that basically they gave CJ way more of the playbook, and then they gave him way less to operate with. But they added Stephon Diggs, hurt. They added to the offensive line, bad. Blake Fisher, in terms of NFL offensive linemen, would rank somewhere between Tank and I. Little better than Tank, little worse than me.
Right.
And that was who you trotted out there as your right tackle for a series of these games. That's on you. That's not CJ.
Mm-hmm.
If CJ Stroud right now was the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, is that team better or worse?
Better.
See, the starting quarterback of the Detroit Lions, is that team better or worse?
Better.
I agree. And that's what I did over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got him to 7. There is a jump from 7 to 6. Because to me, the top 6 are infallible. If you've got somebody that's not these 6, I'll listen to it. I'm not going to agree with you, but I'll listen to it.
All right, number 6.
Matthew Stafford. Been in the league 17 years, Super Bowl champion, biggest arm probably in the league still, and does more with less than probably any quarterback I've ever seen.
Correct.
He got that team to the second round of the playoffs last year. And I'm not going to lie to you, he had Cooper Kupp, who was one good shot away from being in that iron lung that they used to show on Looney Tunes. And Puka Nacua, who I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know that he would work anywhere else. Puka Nacua is one of those weird players that you landed in the perfect spot. Because he's so good in what they do. Mm-hmm. But if he went to Miami, he'd be the 5th receiver in Miami because he doesn't do anything they ask receivers to do. I love Matthew Stafford. I know he's getting older. I know the cliff could be coming at any given time, but he's been in this league a long time. Now he's the elder statesman because I think Aaron Rodgers has crested that cliff. So now he's the vet guy in the league. And he's still got it athletically.
He's definitely got it in the arm talent and the head talent category. The mentals sets him aside. He's one of the smartest quarterbacks in the entire league. And you have to win a game, life on the line, and I'll say this, and you're down. Other than Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford might be one of the top 3 that I would trust in the NFL.
See, the reason he's not that high for me is because of the age.
Mm-hmm. 37? Is he 37 years old?
I think he's
37.
Yeah. I think he'll be 38 in the season. Isn't that
right? February, right before the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Oh, that's still in the season. So.
Right. So, yes, he'll be 38 before the NFL season is over, but just barely. Matthew Stafford at 6, number 5.
Number 5 is Jaden Daniels. Now, you have Jaden Daniels at 1.
I do.
I cannot get there solely because there are 4 dogs that have done this for longer. Mm-hmm. Jaden had a special season last year. Mm-hmm. It takes the best way I can explain this because I love Jaden. Everybody that watches this knows this. I had him as the number 1 team or the number 1 player in the draft last year. He's my number 1 quarterback. I had a Caleb, had a Drake, all of it. You know I love him. Mm-hmm. It takes time to build trust. You haven't had the time to build the trust that the other 4 have.
Agreed. This is, though, my list was, I considered my list different. Mine wasn't gun to your head, you got to win a game right now, who you taking? Jaden would be hard to trust in that scenario. In my breakdown, it's who's had more done for them this year than Jaden Daniels. And I couldn't come up with anybody. The Washington Commanders have had one of the most perfect off seasons you could possibly dream up. They beefed up the offensive line. They got another star wide receiver to put in that room. And you improved your defense. I know the defense doesn't factor into this, but all things considered, Washington gets an A+ for the offseason.
Agreed.
Nobody had more done for their team as a quarterback than Jaden Daniels did, which means he should be the one feeling the most powerful going into the 2025 season because I don't think anybody else has been supported like he has.
I love what Washington did. I had CJ at 5 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that does make me a little nervous.
I was the one that kept saying, "Are you sure you need to put him there? Because he's not. He's only done it once." And here I am with Jaden at 1. Is that coming for Jaden? Is the sophomore slump coming for Jaden Daniels? And
I don't think so.
I think this team's done everything they possibly can to make sure that doesn't happen. At number 4.
We have a super chat that goes along with this, so prepare the button. My number, or actually, one more, sorry. My number 4 is Joe Burrow. Then we have a super chat with number 3.
All right.
Burrow has been hit 448 bajillion times.
Mm-hmm.
If you took that out, Burrow would probably still only be at 4, but it would be closer. I love Joe Burrow. I'm also getting afraid that one of these days he's going to disintegrate into dust when he gets hit for the 50 trillionth time.
Mm-hmm.
That the stat I gave you on Tua Tagovailoa against Joe Burrow is probably the craziest stat I've seen in the last year. Burrow's getting hit way too often, and some of it's his fault. I would say it's not a lot of it, but it's part of it. Joe, in terms of just pure talent, is as good as we have in this league.
Mm-hmm.
He does hold the ball too long. He does try to do too much at times. And he feels like he's the only way they win. That is what puts him below the other three to me. I think Burrow and Daniels are really close to each other because your talent is as good as anybody in this league. If you want to put either one of them at 1 and give me your metric for how you did it, I'm not going to argue with you.
It's hard to argue with the weapons that he's got at his disposal. Number 3.
Pat Mahomes. We have a super chat with Pat Mahomes.
All right. Super chat.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
It's from our buddy Colin that said, "What's up, guys? Couple power ranks came out after the draft. Kansas City at number 1. So explain that to me because I don't get it. In case you ask, ESPN does have Kansas City at number 1. I want to explain it to you. It's 4 words. Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes. That's it. Now, I will say as time goes on, Pat is developing some troubling habits that make me a little bit nervous. And I think it's coming from the fact that his receiving course is not that good. And so he does feel like he has to do it on his own. And he's got to prop up all of these guys. That sounds like a huge negative. Tom Brady did the exact same thing. Tom had a lot of early success, and then it basically got put on him because everybody got expensive, so the roster was not as good as it once was.
But is it not a huge negative? Wonderful. Awesome. Technical issues, apparently. Again, cropping their heads up here around Radio Ranch. Awesome. Patrick Mahomes as the number 3 quarterback on the 2025 power rankings list. Yes, we are having issues in other studios as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and guess that we're not going to have Flostradamus back by the end of the program here.
I could hear you just fine.
Have a few more moments left. The 2025 quarterback power rankings here in
Oops. Hey, so it's just me, apparently. So now it's just me. I don't know what happened. Yeah, the ringing phone is my connection to him. I can see him talking, but I cannot hear him. Tank went away. He couldn't hear me at the end. I could hear him perfectly, but he couldn't hear me. So I will wait for us to reconvene, and then we'll get the last couple in. Spin, I didn't mute him. We're connected from a brick that's in the studio. And for whatever reason, it blipped. I knew somebody was coming in, and then he talked over me, and I knew he wasn't hearing anything that I said. But he will have to tap dance here for the last 2 minutes before we come back. Stephen Dow said, figures. So, Spin, he is talking on the radio here because the radio can hear him. The radio can't hear me. He cannot hear me, but I could hear him. The Tank tap dance is it is formidable at best, or to say the least. See if we can get him back. Nope. I'll shoot him a message and tell him to unmute his computer. And this is just a forewarning. The version of Tank that you're going to see when he comes in here is going to be super vulgar. Tank's going to say many bad words. Steven Tao said Tank's a pro, not skipping a beat for the radio. Yeah, he does that. And he's going to come in here and he's going to bash somebody sideways. And where it is currently raining around part of the area, and for some reason, like heavy thunderstorms mess with the brick. It's happening on all of our shows that use these things. His other radio partner falls into the same thing. Let's see if he looks at his computer. They can still hear you. We've been talking about you for 2 minutes.
What?
So we've been talking about you for 2 minutes. They can still hear you. So before you bash whoever you're about to bash. So what, did you lose me? I could hear you perfectly.
Yeah, no, I lost you completely.
No, you can save money on car insurance by checking all states.
I got no audio coming to me.
Saving on
Joy, because I could hear you perfectly.
Interesting.
All right, so we got to do the last two for the YouTube audience that has hung on. I waited for you. So what, are we having, like, studio issues? Or, I mean,
yeah.
It's every day?
Yeah, I got to go. Actually, give me a second because I got to go check on Mark and see if they got him connected.
Okay. I had a feeling that was coming. So let me give you a little backstory on how our operation works. Tank is the guy that makes sure everything runs. So when something goes sideways, he's the one they come to because nobody else knows how to do it. I am doing this show from here because of these issues. This is the fix.
Because he disconnected as well.
Awesome. At least the lights
are actually, he says he can still hear me, but
I can hear you through the computer.
All right, we got to take you off here and see if we can. Because
I'm not connected to the brick.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been connected to the brick the whole time.
How do you spot all new Nissan rock cream?
All right.
He should be good.
All right.
And it's tough inside and out with proper red detail. Also providing natural habitat on the mountains. Never
go make sure.
Adventure, the first ever Nissan rock.
Give him just a minute. He's got to make sure the rest of the world is working. Oh, this is why I do the show from the house, because this is the easier of the solutions.
Upgrade to a premium bed.
I came in yesterday. My microphone was completely broken off the joist. So my mic was, you can't see it with this one. It was the joke I made earlier. So my mic sits just like this, but it's in an over-the-top cage. I had to put it against the spit filter because they all have the little pop filter so we don't have the hard P's and things like that. I had to lay it on that just to get it to sit there.
The Last Rebel and American Aquarium. Proceeds support the programs of Lake Logan Camp Henry and the Outdoor School. And for every ticket purchased, Lake Logan will donate $1.
Gary Birch, every day is technical issues. I'm just glad that we can now show you it ain't us.
This is JW Whitley.
When I upgraded our computer, it unveiled that, oh, this is not
like Jeff
awesome.
Chris,
Gary Birch, technical issues, show is tanking. I see what you did there. Nominate your community hero It is so hard to run analog radio through the same things that you're doing with both of these things. Oh, Detroit fan man asked where Bessie is. I need a Bessie in here. I need to have somebody paint me a Bessie that sits behind my... That woman the woman that owned that house thought that shit was so funny. Because I told her we were doing live shows and stuff like that. So she tuned in and saw that we had put that cow back behind her. Apparently she's had that picture in that house for like a billion years. She was a very sweet woman. Might be where we stay at the Senior Bowl next year. Other than the fact I caught the bubonic plague, it was a very nice house. And it had nothing to do with the house. It's just, I caught cholera while I was there. She did not replace the chairs. Apparently, so what I'm trying to remember now. We've stayed in a bunch of Airbnbs, and we've been very lucky with people that have had these places. For whatever reason, people break chairs in Airbnbs, which I can't wrap my brain around why you would do that or how you would do that. I'm 6'5", I weigh 300 pounds. I've broken 0 chairs in an Airbnb in my life. But all of them tell me, yeah, we have to buy cheap chairs because they just get broken. And putting in work, your spot is always there, my friend. The work you have done and continue to do is greatly appreciated. Oh, Gambit fans talking about a joke. That always scares me. 9 times, oh wait, I'm not on the radio anymore. So now I can say whatever I want to. Oh, let's see what you did there, Gambit. Dallas is full of, yeah, see what you did there. Gary Bird said Airbnb's double as porn sets. There are a couple of those places. That would not be the best place to shoot pornography. The bunkhouse at the draft house, that's the number one I'm thinking of. That would be a tough camera angle for a camera guy. It's a bad sign that at 3 o'clock he has not returned. Because that other show starts at 3 o'clock. And that means they are probably working through some headaches. Oh, Vince Carter's going to NBC Sports too. NBC's like, hey, nobody may watch this, but by God, we're going to have names that you know. Oh, I'm starting to think Tank may not poke his head back in here. I'll give him another minute or two. Let's see if I've gotten an email. Hey, what's wrong with blank? It's broke. All right, I'm going to have like a Q&A with the people that have been kind enough to stick around. Do any of you work in office buildings where you get emails and you just go, like, that's the only thing you can even fathom to respond? Colin's looking for more unfiltered shows. At the rate we're going, they're all going to be unfiltered because I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind. I just got an email that I cannot open on my phone, which is this should be a doozy. I'm gonna check one more time just to make sure I'm not connected to the brick on any of these, because my response might have a mess of obscenities in it. Let's make sure we don't have that. Nope, that's the only internet browser. There's no little blinking light when this email comes through. There might be some wordy dirts that come out of my mouth. I think currently my computer is protecting me from getting angry because it's just not sending this email. You can't get mad if you don't see it. Detroit fan, the Athletics are in second place. Oh my God. I did not know that. Okay, I sent it to myself, so if it wound up in the spam filter, it's going to make me laugh in and of itself. Oh, I heard a breath.
It's too much of the part-timers. But
I'm fine if you ask. I don't complain nearly as much about that shit like Colby does.
Like Colby?
Hold on.
Yeah.
People can still hear you. You're what now?
I said I was going to mute it so you didn't hear me.
Oh, I was going to mute you so that... always funny when people walk into rooms with an active camera and they don't know it's running.
Ever forget? I forgot. It happened to me.
Yeah. It's always funny when people walk into a room with a rolling camera and go, hey, let me talk shit about somebody. Did you get Mark back on?
No, we did not. It did not work.
Sweet.
Just fighting the fight.
Fighting the brick for the third time in a week.
Yep.
All right, you want to do these last three quarterbacks so these lovely people can get out of here?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, they held on for 29 quarterbacks, so I feel like we do need to pay off the last three.
All right, hang on to it.
You're good. I got an email that I have a funny feeling is just going to rampage piss me off. So I'm trying to send it to myself. I sent it to the wrong person the first time. Somebody's going to get that email and go, why did you send that to me? Well, because I meant to send it to myself, and your name also starts with a J-E. Oh, yeah. Detroit fan man, while he's getting reacclimated, we can get a rundown of all the rankings. Mason Rudolph was 32. Anthony Richardson at 31. Then, in order, Tyler Shuck, J.J. McCarthy, Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco, Justin Fields. 25 is Cam Ward. 24 is Bryce Young. 23 is Michael Penix Jr. Tua Tagovailoa, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Drake May, Geno Smith, Trevor Lawrence. 15 is Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott. Top 10 starts with Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, C.J. Stroud, Matthew Stafford, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes. And I had just said Pat Mahomes when we got discombobulated.
Yes, you did.
You can't hear me through the microphone. Sound, by the way.
You can't hear me through the microphone here, can you?
No.
No.
Well, I disconnected the brick.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so all I've got is whatever's coming through your computer.
Yes. Yes, indeed. All right, so number 3 is Patrick Mahomes.
He didn't play like number 3 last year.
Imagine Patrick. Do what?
He didn't play like number 3 last year, but you still trust him.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's hard to imagine him anywhere but in the top 3.
For sure. He has to be there.
Well, I mean, never in our times have we seen a quarterback that can do the things that he does. And people will say, "Oh, well, what about Tom Brady?" Yes, I know what Tom Brady's capable of. Patrick Mahomes does things I've never seen Tom Brady do. It's a hard truth to admit, but it is the truth. Number 2.
Number 2 is Lamar Jackson. And I can't have Lamar ahead of Josh Allen. It's very close. I think those two do a lot with little. I've seen Josh do more with less than Lamar. Lamar has done more with more than Josh Allen.
Okay.
Josh Allen gets the same results no matter what's around him.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar does more with more. And I will say this, that Baltimore I haven't said this yet. I don't know that there will be a defense that I like better than Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Or better than Baltimore's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I will. I don't believe that I will.
Okay. It's hard to check all of the boxes, and they almost check all of the boxes, I think. I mean, as far as pass rush goes, that's probably the only negative they have, and even that's not the hugest of problems. And then number 1.
Number 1 is Josh Allen. Now, here's what I really do need to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are fractionally apart from each other.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think if Jaden Daniels played for the Bills and Josh Allen played for the Commanders, I don't think anything changes. That's where I get into the struggle, and that's why I'm so much more vehemently opposed with everybody else out of the top 5. I think these 5 are so damn good that it doesn't really change anything.
Mm-hmm. Just on the clutch factor, is Josh up there with Pat?
Yes, I think they all are.
Really?
I really do. I think they're all up there.
I don't know. I obviously Pat's got to be number 1 on the trust meter, I think. And I would probably say Lamar would be my 3 in that scenario. Probably be Pat, Josh, and then Lamar.
All right, so we're unfiltered here, and Colin just sent a super chat. We can't hit the button because I'm now not connected to anything. I mean, he can hit the button; it may echo through the studio. I have no idea. You'll learn it with me when he hits it. But we'll roll for another couple minutes. We both have active fires burning, but I need to get my brain right before I talk to anybody on a phone about my fire, or it's going to have the word "fuck" in it like 47 times. And just watch the response from Tank. All right, we're just sitting here having fun as old friends. So Tank and I can be pretty honest about something here. Tank and I have a very brotherly relationship when it comes to work because we literally feel like we've been left on an island as two guys, and we're going to fight everybody that comes our way. But damn it, we're going to do it together. And so we kind of laugh we're on very opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of what we handle in our day-to-day. So I can tell him things in code without just completely bashing somebody. Hey, you remember that email I told you I was going to get? And when I got it, it was going to be formatted wrong. And yeah, it wasn't just formatted wrong. It was formatted in a way that I don't actually know how anybody that's ever done this for 15 seconds went, that's what you wanted me to do. And that was 26 hours ago, and that's how far into this we've gotten.
That's awesome. Yeah. Just doing stuff.
Sent a picture of it on the car. That was what you sent me. You sent me a picture of the car with the logo on it. Like, how'd you read that email? That's what you got out of that. Just, okay, cool. All right.
Okay. Awesome.
Anyway, the people listening don't care about that. They probably did laugh at your laugh of, I didn't even have to tell you what I was talking about, and you knew and laughed. That's, Gary Birch is quickly becoming one of my favorite people. He said, I'd take Jaden Daniels over all of them. Unsubscribed, scream, cry tantrum. You're quickly becoming one of my favorites.
Damn you!
It's shocking how many people... There are certain people that they don't want to hear our opinion. They want to hear their opinion come out of our mouths. And those people are never going to like us. That's the reason that I start taking shots. I really do. Now, if you want to have an intellectual discussion, hey, you want to come at me with something that makes sense, that's not just, I'm a Packer fan and I love Jordan Love. Awesome. I'm a Jets fan and I hate Justin Fields. So, whoop-de-damn-do. You want me to tell you how Aaron Glenn's going to be the greatest coach ever? I know the guy personally. I know the guy personally. And I still look at it and go, I don't love it. I don't love it. Gary Birch told Logan Paulson that he and I would be best friends, and I'm starting to agree with that. I'll also tell you, as an inside baseball, you'd be that way with Logan, too. Logan's the responsible one that doesn't drink, so he serves to be more like the he keeps all of us out of trouble. But, he's just like us, too. He's
doesn't drink at all?
No. He's also built like a Greek god for a dude that's the same age that I am. I'm not going to lie. He's the reason I'm eating pickles and keto chips and shit like that, because I'm like, I can't stand beside you too often because you make me look like a fat ass. Because we're the same age, and I outweigh you by 75 pounds, and you could beat the shit out of me.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Oh. Well, hopefully everything will be working for tomorrow's show.
Yes, I did want to elaborate on something since we're sitting here saying things that we can't say usually on the ESPN show. I want to go 30 seconds on that top 5. I think Jaden Daniels has the highest upside. I think Pat Mahomes has the safest floor. I think Josh Allen probably does more with less. Lamar Jackson's probably the best physical talent, and Joe Burrow probably is the best 1985 quarterback.
Okay.
Joe was born in the wrong era. Joe was born in an era where we worried all about the weapons and the targets. I think Joe Burrow would be as good as he is right now if he was thrown to me, you, and K22 that was losing his mind about me hating Jordan Love. Yeah. I think we could be the 3 receivers of the Cincinnati Bengals, and it wouldn't matter. The problem is that we don't live in that era, and now you got to work on the line, and Cincinnati doesn't, and they're bad at it. When they do try to do it, they either have to overpay or they try to draft a guy, and they overdraft these guys every single time they do it.
All right,
Stephen Towle said Joe's Dan Marino. Yes, that would actually be that's the perfect analogy. Yeah,
and unfortunately, he may follow that path of he will never win the damn thing.
I've got to handle this issue. Tank's got to handle his. Hopefully, we have a show tomorrow. If we cannot be on radio, I will do something. We'll do something. It'll be on YouTube because I'm not leaving this chair. So I'm not. As pissed off as I am right now, I do not. I need at least 7 days before I
Right.
I told Amy earlier I'm working on something in the neighborhood that I live in, and I told them all just send me pictures because I need to not see people right now. I can deal with my people, the chat people, but I seeing people face to face, I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna show my ass, and nobody wants that.
Yeah. Been one of them kind of days. We'll touch base with you guys tomorrow at noon.
Yes.